Hopefully.
We're live now.
Day.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. I'd like to do the introduction because I've been practicing this.
Oh my god.
No. No luxury.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Needle Stitch is being quiet now because Vermont has some shit to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new episode of the something podcast, and that doesn't matter because it's also the last episode of the podcast because EAST Corp is about to break up and dissolve into teeny tiny little pieces because this is the end of the channel, because much like with the Avengers, we are about to be split by a civil war because Skybolt has no taste in cinema!
Oh my god. I can't believe you planned all that.
Yeah. How long have you been thinking about that?
Write that down and practice it in front of a mirror.
I actually planned it like a year and half ago or something.
I had it written on a script in front of me the entire time. It's Shakespearean writing.
Yes.
Shakespearean writing, I've heard better. From Skybolt.
Yes.
Oh, Needle. X2, Kim A.
So hopefully all of you guys can see our wonderful podcast art has returned, and as you can see, I'm trying to maintain the numbering convention even when we have unconventional podcasts. So, welcome everyone to the 37th episode of the Break Room Podcast, the special holiday Founders Edition.
Yeah. Does this include all the episodes that we did that weren't named?
Yes, no, every time we have a non-named episode, I skip numbers, like the Waifu cast and stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So down the road, if we have like some giant catalog of our voices for the production of an AI or something, then they can number them properly.
Right. Because it's been a while since we've actually done a proper Break Room podcast.
Yeah.
Because the Board Af cast, I did a Sneakmont podcast, and then there was another Board Af cast, and then there was an Ignored Af cast, and here we are.
I like how you say AF and not AF.
No, I'm saying F.
That's like the driving on the wrong side of the road thing.
Well,
what the AF are you doing?
Well, who says AF? That would be silly.
It stands for as fuck. Thing. It's called Bored as Fuck Cast.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, but if you say Bored AF cast, it doesn't roll off as the tongue like Bored AF cast.
I kind of understand where you're coming from though, because I think of other things like the Shiba Inu meme. You know, the what most people call it Doge. I've always said doge, like a weird accent, like oh look at the doge. So
I never called it doge, but I've also not gone with Doge. I always say Doge.
Doge, I don't like Doge. Doge sounds like, I guess it stands like dojo because it's Japanese doggo. I don't know.
In South Africa, we use a lot of hard G's. It's one of the few things that have carried over from the Afrikaans side of my country and how I speak. Most of how I speak is like Kele. It's very much like Kele. But sometimes I have a few Afrikaans ticks, which, by the way, we have James Kelly in this podcast.
Woo! Give it up, everyone. Give it up. I know.
It really is a classic podcast. It's so wonderful, especially those of us who've been listening since the Stable Talk days.
Our last one with me on it looks like 2 months ago, with number 28. So,
really?
Well, it's like when we finally got you and Oakheart on, that was the first live stream where all of the syncing was off for some damn reason.
Yeah.
So, and I swear to God, that wasn't me intentionally. It was a disconnect of the wires.
Yes, that was when the Steve Rolling Needle Stitch meme was born.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know if my audio sounds better.
Sounds all right.
Does it sound better?
Yeah, it sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. Sure. The last podcast Kelly was involved in was the Terminal Secrets podcast, where we had to have Kelly in because the sound editing of Terminal Secrets 4 is the best sound editing that Corp has done to date, and we just had to have it in there.
Yeah. No, that really was Kelly's like magnum opus to date. That was really good stuff.
Well,
I don't know. That Winter Solstice was pretty damn good.
It was, and it wasn't edited by Kelly. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me all the praise, everyone. Give me all the praise.
Well, I mean, it does.
Stop giving him praise. You're gonna give him a big head.
It does really go to show how much of the heavy lifting is done by music. I was watching. I don't remember. I think it was I Hate Everything. But he did an hour-long breakdown of Destiny 2.
I gotta see that.
Yeah.
Because he always does massive breakdowns of the Destiny games and expansions. And
they're great.
They are fantastic. And the one he did on Destiny 2 was great because he pointed out the fact that every single time Destiny's narrative feels competent or like it has something going on that is beyond what you've seen from Bungie, all it actually is really, really good music propping up mediocre set pieces.
Yes, that's the entire Destiny series.
So yeah, Destiny. 90% of the work in Destiny is done by its music. It's a lot like the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
The Star Wars prequel trilogy is like if you have a Lamborghini, but it's in pieces, and like someone who doesn't really understand how to make cars puts it together. So it's like this stuff's kind of there, but it's really not running like it should.
Yeah.
And the original trilogy is, of course, the Ferrari, which is that's a comparison for all of our motorheads out there.
Yeah.
And
we pander to bronies. How many of them are actually going to be Motorhead?
Dusty is.
Yeah, but that's
And the problem is that the sequel trilogy is like a motorbike. Not everyone's a fan of motorbikes, except for except for people who actually ride the bikes, and even they. So it's half of them seem to hate it, and half of them seem to not hate it.
I don't think you mean motorbikes. I think you mean Vespas.
No. Vespas are universally uncool things.
No. Okay. The motorcycle was the Clone Wars TV show. That's the motorcycle of the Star Wars.
No, Vespas.
Vespas.
They're here in Portland. They're actually a huge thing. Like there's a Vespa shop not far from my apartment.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, my grandfather sells scooters. He's the biggest scooter dealer in South Africa, but no, scooters are not cool.
Compared to what? One other person?
Fuck you.
If anyone wants to come to Portsmouth, we've got tons of scooters whizzing around the place, and they are just hairdryers on wheels, and it's disgusting.
You see, it's sad because the scooter it's an efficient, gas vehicle, but it is so pathetic and small and dinky that like it attracts scorn. It's just like the early what they called the scooters in the early Grand Theft Auto games, which I won't repeat because I'm not.
The last time we said something overtly offensive on this channel, I remember us losing like 10 subscribers. Was Needle and I were making a bunch of gay jokes, and apparently a bunch of people in the comment section seem to have not cottoned on about the fact that Needle and I are not straight. We make these jokes in a non-offensive way.
Gay.
So we lost like 10, 15 subscribers in one podcast.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then I called my cat a faggot.
That was it. Yes, you called your cat a faggot.
See, I still subscribe to the South Park theory of word conventions, but whatever.
You can only say that word and it's not bleeped out if you actually are that thing.
That was the mid 2000s, so it's like you can't get away with anything anymore.
I started rewatching some old South Park episodes recently. It's interesting what parts of it hold up and what parts of it don't. I ran across the episode just after they won their very first Emmy, where their reaction to winning an Emmy was to have one of their characters get into a fight with Bono over who could take the biggest crap.
Yeah.
And every single time shit appeared on screen, every single time a turd appeared on screen or people were talking about turd, they'd have a little banner come up at the bottom saying Emmy award-winning series.
It was like, South Park, just like The Simpsons, is like the first 8 seasons are the quality and then the drop-off.
And
I
I
don't
just,
see.
like,
South Park can still every now and then South Park can pull out a really solid episode, whereas The Simpsons have just been unfunny for the last 12 years.
That's true. South Park can once in a while, like I think of their the Cthulhu Mysterion saga, they can reach classic South Park levels of quality, whereas The Simpsons, they really never did again. They only ever reached maybe 80% again.
That and their ragging on PC culture was absolutely brilliant.
See, I never forgave The Simpsons for frickin' the movie should have had what's his name? Scorpio taking over the world, not the stupid EPA plot line which no one gave a shit about. It was supposed to be Hank Scorpio, damn it.
Yeah, see, that doesn't ring a bell to me at all.
So, speaking of the PC culture.
Oh no.
Yeah?
Last year, when the Cheeto got elected.
Oh no.
Portland went into riots.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, it's embarrassing.
And a buddy of mine and I went driving downtown, in the middle of the riots, like away from where the cops were, because they were throwing fucking like tear gas and shit. We were blasting the PC chant from South Park.
That is something that would go over well over loudspeaker.
Yeah.
My ex had made a very good remix of it, so we're just going down the road. Social justice, 1, 2, 3, woo, woo!
Oh my gosh.
You see, I can imagine that episode probably wasn't received well at Rhodes University here in South Africa.
Oh, I love it.
I've got a friend who goes to arguably what I argue is probably the most progressive PC university in South Africa, and that's as universities go. And it's really funny because every time he comes back to Joburg, one of my favorite comments that he makes is, "Good God, if you guys had this conversation in Rhodes, you'd be fucking killed." Like, inevitably, because I am a nice, decent person. I'm a good person.
Oh, here we go.
But I'm also a fucking asshole. So inevitably, I say a lot of shit that might tend to rub people the wrong way, and that might not be seen as PC. Despite the fact that I'm a very, very liberal, progressive person, I say a lot of offensive shit sometimes. And it's really, really funny that every single time I meet someone from Rhodes, the inevitable comment would be, "You would not do well at Rhodes." They would fucking hate me there, apparently.
Well,
Well,
I'm
I
surprised
find
it's still
that
named Rhodes, to be honest.
Oh, so students there call it UCAR. The university.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I like looking at Skybolt's Facebook page and what he likes and comments on. Yeah, I won't say anything, but it does entertain me.
I haven't had you guys on Facebook at all. I think I had Skybolt for a little bit and he deleted his original thing.
Oh no, it got shut down. I got zucked.
What? You got zucked? Why'd you get zucked?
I got zucked because I was in a closed, private shitposting group, but someone in there was infiltrated and was being an asshole and reported everyone.
Right.
So
it's really half of the shitposting groups on that you're on Skybolt. Half of them I can't tell if you're being serious, and half of them I can never tell if you're shitposting. And honestly, I'm a little bit scared to ask.
it's literally all shitposting. It's all for the bands, but people just I don't know. I mean, especially, oh my gosh, especially now it's it's mostly themed based on, what is it? I miss, to be honest, the old days of the Samurai Jack posting. That was such a great group.
God.
You say old days, but that happened 3 months ago.
I know.
It feels forever ago. I miss the days of Skybolt and I talking for 3 hours about the new episode and Needle hating us for it.
Yeah.
Well, there is Ruby, everyone. Just want to remind you.
Yeah, I'm way behind on that. I think the last thing I saw was where it's, I don't know.
It's very good.
They've got two. So the thing, and I'll keep the conversation on Ruby short because I can already hear Needle breathing angrily at my direction. But the problem that Ruby's having at the moment is that... So they had a fight scene. They finally, episode 10, they had a proper fight scene. And it was very well choreographed. It's what you expect. Great lighting. The camera work was some of the best camera work Ruby has put out to date. But it lasted less than a minute, and then it was over, and then everyone was just talking again, and there was so much talking. My God, 90% of the show is talking. Like, Skype, do you remember that line from the very first episode of Red vs. Blue? The stop asking me what they're doing. They're just standing there and talking.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were doing last week. That's what they were doing 5 minutes ago. And 5 minutes from now, when someone asks me, what are they doing? My answer is going to be, they're still just talking, and they are still just standing there.
Yeah.
I think next volume is going to be very good. I think it's been weird, this volume and the previous one, because they're kind of like setting things up, but very slowly. But I think they are wanting something, but they're just really probably unsure on what they want that to be. And I think they've gone in a good direction, and I think next volume is going to really like just blow up and be what it's meant to be. Because obviously it's meant to be, we're in a cute anime high school, and then no, actually the world's gone to shit and we're going to fight. They haven't really done the world's gone to shit and let's fight part, but I think they'll do that for volume 6. You know, get going.
I agree with you, Kelly. There's been this season and last season were a lot. It's been a lot of setup. It's been a lot of them moving the pieces into place, and I do understand that. You know, it's one. You know, I'll roll the conversation back into some EAST Corp stuff for the sake of general interest. With EAST Corp stuff, a lot of what we I can't speak too much to Confessions because obviously that's Skybolt's thing. But a lot of what I do personally in Terminal Secrets is a lot of setup. Nothing like outside of there is one thing that happens in the first 3 episodes of Butterfly Stitch's storyline in Terminal Secrets. There is one thing, which is she kills the stable ponies and feels bad about it for the next 3 episodes. That is the one thing. Everything else that Butterfly does is just filler and setup for what's to come. Episode 4 was so much fun to write Butterfly stuff because it was payoff. Episode 5 features payoff. Episode 6 features payoff. But it was a lot of very, very boring setup. The trick is just always finding ways to hide your setup. I'll try and guess at what Skybolt's been doing, and this is always fun, trying to get for Confessions, because he doesn't tell me jack shit.
Nope.
The only time I ever knew anything about Confessions ahead of time was that Pinkin was going to be making an appearance, because
keeping that secret for a year, that I couldn't believe we made that work.
I'm amazed none of us blurted it out. I'm terrible at secrets, but so from what I can imagine, so Skybolt has featured a hell of a lot of setup. If you consider that starting with the Duchess horror, we got our first was the first sort of rumblings of a non-stable tech corporation. We actually got proper EAST Corp appearances in the Engineer.
That was literally when I started the EAST Corp YouTube channel too. I was like planning the potential breakup in the future. You could feel it coming.
Yeah. The Ranger got the Battered Blade story at the beginning, which wasn't directly related to EAST Corp, but very clearly, in my theory, is related to the overarching plot because it was left unresolved. And you tend not to leave a lot of plot threads hanging. Then episode 6 also kind of dropped in more of that. So there is setup, but what Confessions does is Confessions just spreads it across. Confessions spreads it across like 10 hours and about 20 minutes of filler and setup, so that don't notice the setup in Confessions for everything that's happening. I imagine that when Skybolt finally decides to drop whatever the fuck he's been planning for the series, it's going to catch us by surprise, because the setup's been there, but it's not like we've been overtly... It's not like there's been a whole episode purely dedicated to, okay, cool, we're going to move this character into place, we're going to move this character into place.
Oh, I know what's going to happen. Skybolt told me.
What?
Oh.
Is it the orgy ending? Because I've guessed at the orgy ending already.
I'm kind of sitting here, like, thinking, what does he have... Wait a minute, he told me what he has planned.
I actually don't remember if I do, so I'm guessing maybe I did, and I don't remember.
I'm not telling you guys.
Good. Yeah, no, it's definitely the orgy ending. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be a great time.
My personal favorite ending is the orgy ending. Obviously, it's initiated by Dr. Greenshift. Because
he gets bored with his wife.
Well, you know, ghoulism could cause mutations. Sometimes you have extra arms, sometimes you have extra...
extra other things.
I love Dr. Greenshift, but he's basically everyone's perverted uncle.
Greenshift is so great. He's very wholesome.
He is wholesome in a little bit, in a lot of ways, but then every now and then he drops really, really dirty jokes.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the thing that sticks the most in my mind. Because, I mean, The Ghoul Doctor is still my favorite episode of Confessions, but my favorite part of it is still you get to the ending after all this story, and there's fucking Greenshift with the being a ghoul is quite invigorating, and you've got DJ Pony not wanting to think about ghoul sex.
Yeah, that was him bantering with the wife, definitely. Because the first episode, you know, there wasn't really levity in the sense of the story, and so Greenshift was the first one where it was like, I mean, it was a happy ending for Battered Blade, but it was a really rough time, whereas Greenshift was a little bit more, more like that, so...
And she gets a happy ending, but she also ends the story by bursting into tears, so it's very bittersweet.
Yeah.
I
also lost contact with that actress that did the one bit for Emerald Field, so that's why Emerald Fields probably won't have a talking bit anymore.
I mean, we always just replace her. We replace actresses.
That's true.
It
could still happen, so that's the
unknown. We replace actresses with needles.
Yeah.
Literally just
every time.
Hey, we lost the voice actress. Can you replace her? Sure. Hey, we lost another one. Can you replace? Sure.
I mean, it's hilarious that both of Nathy's voice roles were taken over by Needle, especially because Needle sounds nothing like Nathy.
Nope. Nathy sounds like an older mom.
Yeah, we don't need to point that out.
Not a bad thing.
No, she is an older mom, and I am still a little upset that she just kind of like stopped talking to us. But like, Needle has come through, and she's taken over the roles splendidly.
Oh, 100%. No.
But Nathy still should call us because she stopped talking to us, and that's bullshit.
Right? She was at least cool to chill with.
She actually was. She was like one of the people I could chat with in the studio for
a while.
This was before you, Needle.
Hang out with?
I wasn't. No, you're a lot of fun to hang out with. We hung out when we were looking at the thingies, at the untypical auditions. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we did hang out.
Right? That was a ton of fun.
Skybolt hang out. We talk about con shit.
We do.
Well,
I mean, we like formally met at a con, so it's like, how can you?
Well, we met a couple of times.
We did.
So together.
No one meets me in real life.
That's because you live too damn far away. Move to America.
I actually checked the plane prices, and it's like it's just not in the cards. If we could all convene in like a German con or whatever, that might work. Kelly, of course, wouldn't have to spend much, but the rest of us, it's like some kind of middle point.
Take a train or something.
Unless there's some kind of convention in Morocco that we could all convene at, like that. I can't think of another middle point.
I was gonna say something, but it might be taken wrong.
Say it anyway.
No.
That's the best part.
No.
Say it.
Okay.
Say it, Needle. Say it.
No.
Chicken
We'll
or
lose
rice.
15 subscribers again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So how about that Confessions?
Yeah,
though?
how about that Confessions?
How about that Untypical though?
You know what's funny is Confessions is actually I just discovered that there's actually more content after EAST Corp in Confessions than before now because the last 2 episodes. So it's like we've crossed the median.
Because yes, since you know the Ice Mare was a book.
And part of the combination is that was it Come to Me and the Shadow story are both technically part of Confessions, so that counts too.
More of those little bit stories.
It's another half hour.
Well, I mean, Terminal Secrets has definitely crossed the line.
In so many ways.
Like, considering that, yeah, because the first 2 episodes that we did for Stable Tech count to an hour 40 minutes, and then there's episode 4 on its own is an hour and a half, which I also find really, really funny because that still doesn't count. That makes Terminal Secret's longest episode is only longer than 2 Confessions episodes. The only thing I actually have in length is Wasteland Survival Guide, where Granny Mole is still
Granny Mole.
Grania Whale, for the record.
Granny
It's
Mole.
Grania Whale.
Dang Irish names, man.
That's really
I'm not
cute.
gonna learn that.
Squish my cheek. Stop squishing
What?
my cheek.
Who's
You're not looking at the art, are you?
Oh, it just popped up for me. Oh god, I love that. I loved in this movie how squishy all the movies were. They were all so fucking squishy.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
squishy.
Like, it feels like 90% of their budget went into squish physics.
Nothing but cinnamon rolls and Jello.
I want
Exactly.
to be cinnamon Jello.
I am a cinnamon roll in Jello.
Yeah, you're chubby. We all know.
That's rude. That's very
Yeah.
rude.
I said
It's
chubby.
not. I am in vaguely okay kind of shape. Shut up.
So what were you saying? I didn't mean to distract you, necessarily.
Oh, actually can't remember. I was just talking about Len. Anyway, so Skybolt, you and I have unfinished business.
Oh yeah, okay.
Has everyone in the podcast comment live chat seen the new Star Wars yet?
Have the
Yeah,
2 people on the
I've seen
call
it.
seen this Star Wars yet?
No, okay, so you guys want to hear something funny?
Don't spoil
Go
the
crazy.
fucking
Tell us
movie.
the funny thing.
Okay, so I'm supposed to go see Star Wars with some friends tomorrow, right?
Ooh, why?
Right.
Another one of my friends showed up at my apartment. And, well, he messaged me. He's like, hey, I'm going to come over. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we're going to go see Star Wars in about an hour. And I was like, shit, I haven't seen episode 7.
Oh, really?
So what I did was I found episode 7 online, right?
In totally
And
legal ways.
watched it on
Yeah.
time speed.
Totally legal ways.
I watched it on double time speed.
Oh my gosh.
That must be amazing.
And so I'm sitting there with my knitting, just watching this, and it's on double time speed, and everything is just moving really quickly. And I was like, okay, cool, because I wanted to get context for the new movie. Like, I knew all the spoilers. I knew Han died and everything. Like, I knew what was going to happen. But I felt like I needed context for the new movie.
Yeah, in context.
So
Like
we go and see the newest one, the 8th episode. I literally could have gone into it without having any context, and I would have been fine.
Yeah, essentially.
Damn.
I don't know. Like it kind of feels like you would have liked it. Like it's something you like more. The more you like the characters from the 7th one, which I kind of liked it.
I did not like episode 8 at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got to fight the both of you then.
You have to fight the entire internet. The history is on our side, James. This is the death of Star Wars.
The history is on our side, and so is the entire Star Wars fandom, who are literally right now petitioning to have Episode 8 wiped from the history of Star Wars.
Okay, so first of all, it's just a bunch of it's a minority of loud assholes, because first minority, it's not in the majority. But seriously,
You're wrong.
No, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, the Last Jedi doesn't do enough to be as bad as everyone warrants it.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It does some stupid shit. I am not gonna defend the stupid shit it does.
Star Wars The Last Jedi is a Star Wars movie made by people who fucking hate Star Wars.
No,
fucking
it's not.
Hate Star Wars. Absolutely hate it.
Ridiculous thing that you've said so far.
It is people who bought a copyright, which is what Disney's infamous for doing, and completely, like, hollowing it out like some kind of SCP, you know, insect or whatever, and then wearing its body like a puppet.
So pickle it.
I completely disagree. I think it did the exact same. The thing is, it did, and I sent this to you in a message a few days ago. It tried to do the exact same thing that Knights of the Old Republic 2 did. It just did it worse.
You see,
because those.
Go ahead.
Those ideas that it tried to take on, dissecting the Jedi, dissecting heroism, and all this other shit. It was all those themes are things that Obsidian also did. Just Obsidian obviously did it better. A lot. It seems like they just do everything better than everyone else ever. But I still don't think necessarily that The Last Jedi is a bad movie, especially because there are the good moments in that are a lot better than most Star Wars moments.
And see, that's part of the problem, is that The Last Jedi is like a Transformers movie. And I mean that to be as insulting as it sounds. Where it's all candied shell, where it has the color, it has the, like, it has the grandeur, so to speak, the size, but again, there's nothing inside. It is nothing but the candy shell. So you have a few very well-contained good scenes, like the no fucks given hyperspace jump. That was a good scene by itself. But it's like the logic behind the scene and the character in the scene and everything else about it is of zero value. So it's like
ridiculous.
It's like what Rian Johnson did was make a lot of really interesting B-roll, and it's like now we need a director and a writer to take the B-roll and make a movie out of it.
So what I kind of figure, Rian Johnson in my mind actually, like, I don't think comparing Rian Johnson to Michael Bay is a good comparison. I think comparing Rian Johnson to Zack Snyder is a good comparison.
Oh, and that's just as bad.
It's just as bad. I agree. It's just as bad, but it's bad for different reasons. Both Rian Johnson and Zack Snyder have a boner for moments. And Rian Johnson, at least when he was working on Breaking Bad, was tempered by the writers. He was just directing, and so he was able to visually give out what the writers put together. But in this, with him writing and directing, you can see the faults lie in that. A lot of it is, you know, this is a cool moment, this is a cool moment, this is a cool moment. Like, there are multiple breathtaking moments, which I think, even on their own, make this one of my favorite Star Wars films. Things like flying, like fucking warping through a fleet, smashing through, tearing the lightsaber in half. Everything with Luke. The fight on Crate, which is so much better than Hoth in every conceivable way. Fuck every one of you.
Here's the thing about Crate, though. Okay, go ahead. Finish up.
Okay, so I'll finish up. The problem is it has all these great moments, but it feels like Rian Johnson wrote all of those moments specifically, had them all on a corkboard, sat down and said, okay, cool. How do I get my characters through each of these moments? Because at some point, I'm going to have my characters sitting and talking to each other, and there's not going to be one of these moments. How am I going to do that? And so that's in my mind what the problem for me with The Last Jedi is that it feels like he created the big moments first, the steps to get to those moments afterwards, which is why we have that really overly conceited trip to the casino planet, which everyone, God. Even people who love The Last Jedi, hate the casino planet.
You mean because it's trying to have like 4 or 5 messages crammed in at once?
I loved the message of the casino planet. I thought it was a great message, and it belongs in Star Wars. Just not in that Star Wars movie. It feels like something that they would have. It feels like something that they would have done on the Clone Wars, and that they would have done it a lot better on the Clone Wars.
Yeah, over 3 separate episode arcs.
Exactly, with like a whole cast of completely brand new characters on a completely brand new world, like that usual shit that they do, where they did all those experimental episodes. Fuck, I love the Clone Wars. Still the best Star Wars media.
Absolutely.
Outside of the
in your pants, Vermont.
Sorry. I mean, movies are the worst medium to tell a Star Wars story in, without a doubt. Because the thing is that Star Wars, as a whole, is a very dumb series.
Yeah.
Star Wars is very, very fucking dumb. I love Star Wars, but it is dumb. The only Star Wars movie that actually has substance, and that's the thing, is that when people complain about this movie not having substance, this movie does what every other Star Wars movie except for Empire does. The reason Empire is thought of as the best is because it's the only one that actually has substance and meaning to what it is saying. Everything else in Star Wars is actually just an excuse to get to the next space wizard. I joined... Star Wars is the only thing where I joined for the spectacle, and because, other people tell Star Wars better. The Clone Wars had substance. Knights of the Old Republic had substance. So there we go. That's my rant. That, and also Kylo Ren, perfect body.
Kylo Ren.
How can I not
Why
put
is
this
he
up?
so
disgusted on that.
It was the strangest thing where it's like, I don't know. I think it's the lighting. That's what did it. Because, I mean, Adam Driver, he's not like a weird, thick frame like that. So I can only assume that it's something they did with the lighting that made it look like he's this ridiculous, thick, like, monstrosity.
I think it was, like, real talk, I think it was the actual outfit he was wearing. Because he had his his pants go all the way past his navel.
Yeah.
Which it was black, so it was very slimming. And then it was a very stark contrast between his pants, which are tight, black, and very slimming, and his upper body, which is not tight, black, and very slimming.
Yes, it's a chest.
He's basically just an emo rectangle.
He has like the Empire waist from like old Victorian dress, where it's like right underneath your tits. So
he's a hipster gothic mega block.
And you know what's sad is that Kylo Ren is the best character in the new series, and so all of the unfortunate movies written around him are just so terrible because of that. But so The Last Jedi, half of its sins are essentially carryovers from the Force Awakening that never resolved properly. And because The Force Awakens, we've discussed this a lot on the podcast, but my quick recap is just that it has all the classic J.J. Abrams problems of not understanding how space works. So it's like she jumps to hyperspace, and then within like a minute or two, she just arrives. Like, okay, I'm at the Ireland planet, whatever it was, Michael Selig Island, and so it doesn't understand how space works. And of course, the entire so now we've been shown clearly that this new trilogy is all about killing the old, literally killing off everything that was ever good about the original Star Wars series. Every episode, a new character has to die in a very unbecoming way after very poorly set up plot lines, and it's like, we still have no idea how the heck Kylo turned to the dark side. It's like, first of all, who is this creepy old man? Like, why is, like, Darth Schmeagol just, like, how did he contact him? Like, where did he come from? Why is he the most powerful Sith Lord? If he was the most powerful Sith Lord, why did he die in such a, like, really comical way? It's like, everything about it is just so, like, and that's the other thing, too. Like, I'm seeing the retort from the negative Star Wars commentary being, oh, Star Wars fans complained that The Force Awakens was too similar to the old trilogy, and so now they're upset that the new one is too different.
Really, Cat?
That is a straw man. The new damn Last Jedi lifts more scenes from Empire and Return of the Jedi, I think, than even The Force Awakens took from the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
By far. The entire whole fucking throne scene setup is exactly ripped off the end of Return of the Jedi.
Except the thing is that the problem is that Star Wars has always built itself on repetition.
George Lucas put more original thoughts into the prequels by far than Disney has even attempted to put into this new series.
But just because they're original thoughts doesn't make them good.
Just because you rip it off doesn't make it good either, because you ripped it off.
The Lady in the Water was an original thought.
Lady in the Water.
After Earth was an original thought.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, that was a bad movie. No, and
The Room was an original thought.
All of the original thoughts in this are shit, too. And so that's why some of the best scenes in this are either small vignettes, like the hyperspace YOLO, or nothing. And so it's like, okay, let's take the entire Hoth battle. Oh, wait, but everyone's going to realize that. Okay, how about we leave a planet, and then we come back to a completely separate planet, and then we'll do the whole opening of the Hoth scene. And I mean, they even have the part where the guy touches the ground, and he's like, it's salt. Which, okay, yeah, you make the joke about, yeah, it's the salt of the Star Wars fan base. The only reason he said that, because everyone in the studio knew they're just going to complain that it's like the snow planet. Oh, let's literally shoot a scene with a background character pointing out that it's not a snow planet, it's a salt planet. It's different. Yeah. Which
no, that was absurd. That was stupid and on the nose.
And I get the idea of the mine having one giant central door. That makes sense because, you know, you're a rich fucker and you take off from your mine planet and you just leave the door locked and you come back later. What doesn't make sense is that as the First Order, the, you know, baby Empire are escaping from their B2 spirit in the sky, so they were able to lift off 4 of the monkey AT-ATs, but they also took the time. They just happened to take the time to lift this giant fucking cannon that's like 4 times the size of them, and its little like armadillo crawler polar things, and also some vehicle which had to bring that down to the planet. And, yeah, they just got it there because they knew there'd be a big, giant door they'd have to crack through. That's totally, you know, rather than a more realistic thing of the few Star Destroyers still alive that didn't get YOLO'd, you know, going into low orbit and firing on the door, and then when that didn't work, then you drop the monkey walkers.
See, yeah, The Last Jedi in my mind feels like a lot of really, really cool ideas put together very stupidly.
Yes, this is like concept art stapled together, and then someone's like, and action!
This is a movie that could have used another year or 2 in production.
Or 3. Or never.
They couldn't really do that, though, because Carrie Fisher died.
The thing is, though, they could have released this because Carrie Fisher had already shot all of her scenes by that point, and none of Carrie Fisher's scenes. Okay, there's the one Carrie Fisher scene that has been drawing controversy, which is her very. But outside of that, none of Carrie Fisher's scenes needed to be rewritten because those were all already excellent.
God, I fucking hated her Superman
quotations.
Fucking,
excellent.
What the fuck?
Well, no, I mean Carrie Fisher has. That was one of those things that I really, really liked was watching Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill in this, because especially Mark Hamill. The last time we saw Mark Hamill playing Luke Skywalker was in Return of the Jedi, where he was, let's be honest, a very average actor. And over the years, he's got a lot better. So one of the things I think this does easily better than the others is Mark Hamill giving the Mark Hamill giving the best Luke Skywalker performance. Because that was fantastic.
But it wasn't Luke Skywalker. It's like, yes, his acting is good, but the character itself wasn't Luke Skywalker. And that's half the problem people have.
I don't actually know about that. He felt there was Luke Skywalker in him. But, you know, you're a different person 50 years after...
The entire reason they wrote his character that way is just so they could make him a Yoda parallel and also kind of an Obi-Wan parallel of just going away and hiding on a planet for a while. The whole it made sense in the original trilogy because A, that wasn't a thing before, and B, they talked about how they, like, genocided the Jedi. Well, maybe not directly, but it's like, it was heavily implied that all the Jedi were wiped out except for a few people that had to go into hiding. But here, again, we're at a point where the new, not First Order, the New Republic owns like half the galaxy, in theory, at the end of Return of the Jedi that Disney still sells Blu-rays for because, you know, Disney loves money and nothing else. At the end of Return of the Jedi, you see like several dozen planets celebrating the end of the Empire, at least on their systems. And so, according to the background lore, they went into the what is it? Unclaimed regions, or the unknown territories of the galaxy, and that's where they found, you know, planet Starkiller and just built the shit out of it. So they weren't even in formal Republic space. Like the First Order was operating out of like literally the Badlands, where there's like almost nothing known because of like hyperspace bullshit. But like, okay, so, and then the backstory, too, is that, though we're sick of having it on Coruscant because that's a bad idea, so let's revolve the Republic Senate around the systems. That'll be fun. And so, okay, it shows up and they just fuck off, you know, Hosni and Prime. It's like, you think every other planet couldn't put up a new senator or general? Like that would be a temporary problem, not a permanent one.
Well, I mean, a moving seat of power is what America did for a while, but then, you know, that was like 200 years ago, and they realized that was a stupid idea, and they stopped doing it.
We only moved our capital twice. It was in New York City.
It wasn't the capital, but it was where your Congress didn't regularly met in different places for a very long time, if I recall.
That was probably before the Constitution was even finalized. It was essentially a temporary government, a transition government between the Revolutionary War and the formalized Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. And it's I think that literally, as soon as it was done, it was DC. And that's fine. It's fine if they revolve the Senate. But the thing is, if you kill off every senator, it's like the planets are still, like, together in some way. I mean, the First Order was, like, taken down to size, too. It's like, yeah, they killed Hosni and Prime, but apparently most of the First Order got BTFO'd also with their moving planet gun. And they've got, like, what, 2 or 3 ships? Like, I mean, I don't know. Of course, some of that stuff was kind of mythical in the original Star Wars, but that was the first movie. And, like, with these, like, there's actually more setup about, like, what's in this galaxy that's, like, existing. And
yeah, there like a lot of the problems that Last Jedi still has is from the stupid setup of the First Order. The First Order is still a stupid fucking setup. All of that. The Republic, they were so scared of going into the politics after the backlash to it in Revenge of the Sith that they fucking just dropped it altogether.
Yeah, and so, I mean, literally, this is a reboot. This is Disney's Star Wars. It's not even like, they're not trying to put it in the same continuity. They're not trying to do anything. Like, even these last threads, like Luke and Han and stuff, first of all, you have the original 3 characters, and it's almost like they intentionally keep them all separated. You can't have any screen time with them together because then you'll realize how shitty all the new characters are because you have the classic stars actually talking in their characters. So they separate them all out into these really hollow, like, version 1s of their characters. Like, all the progress they made over the original 3 movies was undo button instantaneously. It's like everything they fought for, everything that made everyone fall in love with Star Wars is just instantly undone. Fuck it. You know, because we want to reset it and recapture the spirit of Star Wars. It's like, that's not how you do it.
Spirit of Star Wars, though? most of the spirit of Star Wars were branch-off story books.
Yes, that's
exactly.
true, too. A big part of Star Wars is the expanded universe.
Is they should not have... That when they first announced that they were going to be like, oh, Disney bought Star Wars, we're going to get new Star Wars movies. My first thought was, oh my god, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for them to start doing a whole bunch of prequels set before the Phantom Menace, because even at that age, when I must have still been a teenager at the time. Even at that point, my mind immediately went to, obviously you're not going to start telling the story after Return of the Jedi. That would be exceptionally stupid. It would make all the sacrifices of these characters completely null and void. And then Disney are kind of like, no, we're gonna do that. So I try to ignore some of that when I complain about it, or when I look at individual films, because that's just an overriding stupid thing of the entire Disney sort of fucking stories. Disney should have started telling their stories from all of them should have been prequels. They should have only done fucking prequels. Jump into the fucking Old Republic era, when there are no characters from the modern Star Wars continuity alive, and tell those stories. Then nothing you do will have an effect on modern Star Wars, on Star Wars at all, and then it's fucking fine. Or, as Skybolt is kind of pointing out there, maybe just fucking take the Thrawn trilogy and turn that into a film.
I'm glad they didn't, though, because they would have fucked that up, too. Look, it's like, and I've learned this more and more the last couple of years. I had faith because I was very pleased with what Marvel had been doing. But I guess what I failed to see was that the entire Marvel universe, again, was all set up before their purchase by Disney. The Iron Man is what sealed the deal, the success of Iron Man. This was all put together by someone who, A, loved the story material, and B, knew what the fuck he was doing. Was it not Guy Fieri? Kevin Feige. And so he laid out Yeah, Guy Fieri.
How did you fuck this Guy Fieri have to do with directing?
How did you get that wrong?
I think it was from a Fallout fan page where it had Guy Fieri as a ghoul and the in a fire armor. He's like wasteland cooking. Anyway,
that's fucking amazing. I would love to see that crossover. That's a crossover I would watch.
That would be delicious.
Guy Fieri, please come make us a Marvel film.
But it's like everything, like you can tell that with every passing year, Disney exerts more of its control over the Marvel universe, and they've already fucked it up with the comics. Like, the comics are like crashing and burning now, and the movies, it's like you're starting to see the cracks. You can see them meddling where they shouldn't be meddling, and it's like, just let Kevin Feige do it, guys. And they're like, no, because we're Disney.
So speaking of Disney, right? I was on the phone with a customer, and they were demanding that I give them a free cell phone because I work for a cell phone company now. Gosh. And I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, but we cannot give you a free cell phone. After 45 days, you can't return it because of dissatisfaction, and after a year, you can't return it to us because of a mechanical issue. If there's a mechanical issue, you need to contact this person if you have insurance on it. And she's like, I don't like this. This is not good customer service. You should read Disney's book on customer retention because you're about to lose one. And I said, well, Disney doesn't really have customer retention. They just own everything.
Which is horrible.
That's not true. And I was like, no, go ahead. You can look it up. Like, Google it right now. What does Disney own? They own pretty much everything.
Yeah, and that's a whole separate issue about antitrust and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it's clear that the people they're putting in charge of all this, like, they... it's like Mark Hamill himself said a few, weeks ago during the press tour or whatever. He's like, you have to remember that it's all about money. All these movies are about money.
Oh, yeah.
And of course I understand. George Lucas, clearly, yeah, that was his driving force, too. But, again, it's like... I don't know. There is a clear difference. There's the clear shamelessness to what Disney's been doing with these movies, and it's like, you know, Rogue One was just like okay. It's like forgettable on all fronts, but I find too, even the Red Letter Media guys, who they gave the Force Awakens a gentle pass because they're hack frauds that probably got paid off. But it's like even now they're like, okay, there's a lot of problems here.
I fucking love how casual that was.
Fucking hack frauds.
True. All right, I'm gonna go make a sandwich real quick. I'll be right back. Don't tell me bye.
Making their money back is obviously very important to Disney. They do absolutely love their money, but it's also, in my mind, it's also very easy for us to point that finger when we're at a stage where we don't necessarily need the money ourselves.
All the world's a stage.
We can make, if every single one of our patrons dropped out, we could still continue business until we got bored.
So could Disney. They're fucking billionaires.
For the record, that doesn't mean I condone any of our patrons leaving to test that theory.
Yeah, FYI, Patreon, they undid the whole bullshit thing. You can contribute whatever you want now.
They did do that. We are actually looking at... I'm still busy working on revamping our Patreon, just to make a few adaptations and changes given on what we've learned over this last year.
I got to do another Patreon solo cast. I'm a little overdue.
Right. Well, that's been quite interesting. Is that what I've sort of discovered is a lot of our patrons don't actually just care about the rewards. So every time I go, it's like, are you sure you guys? You specifically haven't been on the podcast, or we haven't, you haven't got this support reward yet. Are you okay with that? You sure you don't want me to make sure that you get it? And they're like, no, I didn't sign up for this. I wanted to support the channel. So now I'm just trying to think of ways of, which is both fantastic and also frustrating, because it's like, but I want to give you rewards back. I feel guilty now. I feel so guilty. It always feels like there's got to be some sort of, like, something else that we give back aside from the hours and hours and the hundreds of hours that we spend making content and telling stories. Oh God, I'm very sleep deprived.
I'm actually not. I just got a good night's sleep and I'm full of caffeine. I started making mochas.
See, one of these days, Kelly and I will live in. Well, I'm not sure about Kelly because he is the king of Britain, so he kind of has to stay there. But at the very least, I know one day I'll live. I'll live in your horrifying upside down land of no fun and terror. But at the very least, it means that I won't have to do the podcast at night. I'll handle all the other horrible things as long as I don't have to do the podcast at night, and as long as I'm in driving distance of conventions.
Yeah, you'll be close for all the British cons now, if you go up there.
There are British cons? I kind of just assumed
there's one, and then there's one in Scotland, I think. No.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
There's,
I like how you count Scotland separate from Britain. That is pretty funny.
Yeah, I want to leave.
So does Scotland. Scotland counts themselves separate from Britain as well. They are not fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they want to leave, they can go.
They can't leave. They're nothing without England. That's what Scotland doesn't seem to understand. It's like, you came to us, because you were out of money because you tried to make colonies and you fucked it up. So you came to us.
One of my favorite discussions on Scotland leaving. There was this John Oliver quote, which is, if Scotland leaves Britain, they're going to have to either join the unstable euro or revert to whatever Scotland's original currency was, because it can't be the pound. And I'm assuming their original currency was a combination of sheep and threats.
Mm.
I'll give you 3 sheep and a punch in the face if we have a fucking deal.
Yeah.
They'd probably trade on Iron Brew, and I would probably move there if they did, because I love Iron Brew.
Oh God.
A lot.
I can't stand the stuff. Ugh.
Oh, it's so good.
I love too that whenever we hear like international politics or whatever, Wales is always just like whatever. You're like, yeah, we're doing fine. We're just Wales.
So, which is hilarious. Because the English or the British part of my ancestry is fucking Welsh.
Oh, really? Oh, sad trombone.
Yeah. I'm Welsh and Portuguese by ancestry, which is a weird combination.
Britain has a very long history of being besties with Portugal, though.
Yeah, so that's not really a weird combination.
They both hated the French.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, that's all that really matters, is that if you hate the French, then you're probably a good buddy with Britain.
Which, I'm pretty sure India also hates the French, but they also don't like Britain.
That's because Britain took them over. However,
And we did a bloody good job.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
Oh my god. Fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, so should we probably mention the holidays, since this is also kind of like a holiday podcast?
Yeah. How's everyone's holiday been?
Everyone?
I don't know. How is everyone's holiday?
it's alright.
I accidentally saw my Christmas present.
Oh.
What is it?
My parents hid it in the laundry room, apparently forgetting that I do laundry.
Oh.
Or they also so my grandmother's currently staying in so I'm house sitting, so I'm not at my house at the moment, but whenever I am at my house while my grandmother's there, I have to sleep in my brother's room because my grandmother's in my room. And because my grandmother's in my room, my parents decided to remove the horrifyingly ugly sound booth that I had built for myself. So they put my sound booth in the laundry room. So
Right.
I went in there to record a thing. As I very regularly do.
As one does.
I went in there, and then I turned around, and I saw a box on there that very, very, like, no covering on it whatsoever. No, like, didn't even put, like, a blanket over or anything. Like, no. Just wide in the open. I see what my present is. I mean, I knew what it was going to be anyway. I just didn't assume. I didn't think we had the money for it.
Well, what have you got?
I got a new screen.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, because I've been doing a lot of 3D animating lately, and so trying to run Maya off of a single screen is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
It's built with so many fucking plugins and so many doodahs and who-whats-its. Like fucking, I have so many fucking windows open. It is a nightmare on one screen, and I've been bitching about it all year.
I've become a master of the one-screen space.
I can't
No,
go
it's
back to one
disgusting.
screen anymore. I'm used to
No.
it from work and home.
No, okay, so at work I have two screens, right? But for an hour a day, we have to do chat, and they give us these really bad headphones to listen for the sound that we get whenever we get a chat.
Yeah.
And the sound is this really annoying thing. So in your ear, that hurts. So I don't like having the headphones in. I just turn my sound off, and I have the chat up in one screen at all times. So I have learned how to very well operate. That sounded weird. I've learned how to operate with one screen very well, because I need to have 5 different programs running at the same time in order to be able to get somebody's phone working. So I'm a master at using one screen, which is great.
It's not great. Meh.
Can't do one screen because
No.
even if I'm not in Maya, when I'm not spending time in Maya, I'm in Flash, or I'm in Premiere Pro, or I'm in After Effects, or I'm in Audition. Out of every job that I do down the production pipeline, the only one that I don't technically need multiple screens for is writing. And even then, I like to write, and I like to write with Google Chrome up with a dozen different tabs open with research on them. Because I don't research quite as much as Skybolt does, but I research a fuckload for every script. So can't do single screen. Single screen is the worst.
Yeah, no, I know. Just in the general sense, I can't go back to that because it's been too long now. I love my double screens. Usually when I write, I have the main, like, script open on my center screen. I always have, like, one that's center-oriented. And then on my side screen, and I have music playing in the background. And then on my side screen, I have a big folder of pictures related to all the story elements that are coming up. So, like, for instance, when I was writing the Duchess Horror, I had, like, pictures of, like, old antebellum, like, mansions and pictures of Lovecraftian shit and some Phantom shit. So, you know, that was my process.
I feel bad for both of you because I've got 3 monitors.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, it's pretty nice, I've got to say.
I don't have enough desk real estate for all that.
No, my dad got laid off like last year, so he went, well, they don't need any of this shit, so here you go. Here's my old monitors and here's my old desk. And,
what?
And I was like, yeah.
Wait, your dad just cleaned out his office, like literally?
Yeah, no, because it was like they were closing down the entire building, and he went, fuck it, I'm just gonna take everything, and literally everyone just gutted the entire thing out and went, fuck it, you can fuck off. You know, you're getting sacked, so you're like, fuck off.
You're going to get the Crown Prosecution Service listening to our podcast now. You need to be quiet.
Yeah, my name is definitely not, you know, my name. Don't look me up. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm sending a thing to the Apocalypse. Go check it out. Skybolt, you should post it.
Okay.
We got a thing.
Be prepared.
Oh my god, someone actually did it?
Oh, cute. Give me a second.
Oh my god, someone actually drew the fucking picture.
Yep, Samuel Pierce did that for us. We're going to be posting that, Samuel, so that everybody can see it.
You know what my favorite part of this picture is? That there's that the handle of the spoon is going right through the middle of Skybolt's face.
Definitely not a fan. Damn it, where'd the picture go now? Come on.
Normally, normally of the 3 of us, I'm the background character in the art.
What the fuck? I just downloaded it. Give me the picture.
No.
Also, Needle Stitch is very fuzzy in this picture. It's adorable.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Well, have we seen what India's put on the Patreon podcast chat with Mark Hamill says he doesn't like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I read the article while Skybolt was ranting.
Right.
Mark Hamill does talk about how he doesn't like it and so on and so forth, but then he also finished it off by saying it was a good call for the movie as a whole, even if I didn't think it was a good call for the writers. I only hope that Star Wars fans don't take this too seriously. It is just a movie. And I feel like most people who are going to be quoting that article might ignore that bit at the end.
Well, because for them, they weren't supposed to be just movies. This is like one of the most famous series in all of cinema. That's the fundamental thing that Disney doesn't seem to understand. This isn't just some property they bought and, you know, oh, fuck it, now we got the older male demographic. Woohoo, check mark. No, this is like, this literally altered, like, cinema. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this on screen. This literally was, like, revolutionary for cinema for, like, 20 years. Like, it got them out of this horrible, like, slump that they had been in the 60s and 70s of this depressing, hyper-realistic, like, you know, just nihilistic crap. And it's like, you know, everyone could smile again. And Disney's like, oh, that's whatever. Who cares? Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this cup right under your tears and drink them and feel your pain.
This is beautiful. This is absolutely
so
beautiful.
I'm going to steer the conversation. We need to steer the conversation away from Star Wars because otherwise it's going to become another depressing podcast. I was asking earlier, Kelly, while we wait for Scabble to put the art up. I never asked what software do you use for your audio editing?
I use Logic Pro 10.
Really?
And yeah, boy, it's so good.
Yeah. I tried.
No.
I tried using 10 and then immediately rolled back to 9.
Fuck's sake! Really? How? This is an abomination.
And then stopped using 9 and then just started using Adobe Audition instead.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, so I've got your approval with that.
Yeah. I mean, like Adobe Audition over Logic Pro 9. Yeah, I'll give you that. But for Logic Pro 10,
I couldn't drive 10. Maybe. Yeah, I couldn't drive 10. So when I was doing for the 1 month period during first year when I did sound engineering, we were using Pro Tools, and I missed that. I fucking missed Pro Tools so much. That was great.
Is that when you were hiding in your friend's trunk to get to school?
What? Is that
when you mean smuggled in?
No. That was all during second year. No, this was first year. This was 2016. Because the way our school kind of structures itself for first years is that you have your 4 terms, but you do 2 different subjects every term. Because our film school is more because there's not a lot of film schools and filmmakers in South Africa. Our school is very much based around teaching people who have never touched a camera before in their lives, like that kind of thing. So first year is about you get a term where you learn to write and direct, a term where you learn to animate and produce, where you learn to do sound engineering and editing. And I can't remember what my 4th term was. Oh, cinematography and color grading. That was it. So for my weirdly enough, my sound editing got the highest mark I've ever got in my entire life. But I'm not a good sound engineer, which kind of just explains the standard of quality at that school. If I could come second in the grade. And there's clearly a problem because 99 times out of 10, if I'm doing the sound editing for something, I'll fuck up, give up, and then give it to Kelly.
So, can I say something about this art that I absolutely love?
Yes.
Yes.
The mechanical feature of wings are hidden, so it looks like he's just an alicorn.
It does actually. Oh no.
As I am, absolutely.
Princess Skybolt coming.
Princess Skybolt. Also, I like the Needle. Her mane in this looks a lot more mohawky. She looks like a Tumblr feminist.
Oh no!
She's a fabulous Tumblr feminist.
The thing is, like, Needle Stitch's hair is pretty much based off of my normal hairstyle. I don't like the idea of shaving the side of my head, so I just kind of part it at the side and push it all to the left. And that's to cover my lipoma so that people don't see it. And so a friend of mine saw that and was just like, your horse now has this mane, and gave her that mane. But this definitely makes it look a lot more voluminous, and I love it.
Right.
Pretty.
She's so fuzzy in this picture. She's so fuzzy. Why? What joke were we making that ended up with this teacup scenario?
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, it was a funny joke.
I can't remember how we ended up with Needle Stitch being served in a teaspoon.
See, I'm pretty sure, like, I was like, that would be so cute.
Yeah, I know that you said it would be cute, but I'm trying to remember how we got there in the first place.
I don't know, Samuel. Do you remember how we got to that? Because we don't.
Leave it in the comment section below, guys. This has been quite interesting. Over the last week, I've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
And so the last time I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy was in 2012. So at the time, I was just at the time, I was in 11th grade. I was a high school fucking student, loved the Lord of the Rings and so on, but I didn't know a damn thing about film. I just knew I liked the films.
Okay, so apparently it was the first or second Bored AF cast.
So the in the time since the last time I watched The Lord of the Rings, I learned about what makes it what a film is made out of. So I thought it'd be interesting to watch the films again from a filmmaker's perspective. And on the one hand, dear God, I respect the film a hell of a lot more. On the other hand, I noticed a hell of a lot of other things. Awkward editing choices, cuts that should have been left out. Okay, so it doesn't help that I am watching the extended editions.
Oh, yeah. It's the only way to do it.
At the time you started this podcast, I was an hour and 33 minutes into the 4.5-hour cut of Return of the King.
Oh my God, I love the director's cut version of Lord of the Rings. It gives so much more story and makes so much better.
Oh, it 100% does. I love the director's cut versions. I've been loving them. But the friggin' Two Towers has some really janky CGI sections. I mean, there's obviously... I took a screenshot. I'll send it to the group. But no, there's fucking... Gollum every now and then has some weird...
Gollum's obviously the main character.
Every now and then, Gollum has some really janky moments, but there was this one shot that I caught of Helm's Deep from above, which... What the fuck were they thinking? Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay, sending it to the group. Which is hilarious because, on the one hand, you think... I thought, wow, this is really, really bad CGI. And then I thought, also, this is a 15-year-old film.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that it's 15 years old, The Lord of the Rings holds up stupidly well.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of Minas Tirith in the time of watching that first hour and a half of Return of the King, and it's actually really incredible to step up in technology for making that film because, obviously they used a lot more practical locations and studio sets for Minas Tirith because it still looks fucking gorgeous. Even the CG. I've sent it to the...
Okay, on screen.
To the executive.
Bye,
Fuzzy Stitch. We're going to miss you, Fuzzy Stitch, with your tongue out. Wait for the screen.
Should be on screen soon. I have added.
Oh, it's on screen. My thing is just really, really behind. Okay, so the walls look... Most of the walls of Helm's Deep look fine, except for the Deeping Wall, which is the wrong color.
That's because they're probably mini models.
The thing that catches my attention the most are the horses and the tents, which look like fucking like they went into Photoshop, grabbed a still image with a transparent background, and just dropped it on.
Oh, yeah. I see that now. You never look in that corner, though, so that was probably, the least amount of effort went into it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you don't look in that corner. I caught it at the corner of my eye, and I had to go back and pause on it. I saw
you can't unsee it.
It was, like, there are some rocks also that just... Some of the rocks look great. Some of the walls look great. Some of them don't. Which, I mean, The Lord of the Rings still holds up beautifully.
I've never actually noticed that it looks that CG, but with a still, you can tell.
Yeah.
Because Peter Jackson does a very good job of hiding a lot of the bad CGI moments, because he uses a lot of the techniques that Spielberg used to make Jurassic Park look good, which is, he regularly switches between practical effects and CGI effects because that way your eyes don't have time to adjust.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park still holds up today because just as your eye is starting to adjust to, okay, these are CG things, it switches to practical things, and your eyes have to readjust to how practical thing moves. And then Jurassic Park still does it better than The Lord of the Rings, because Jurassic Park, they actually had to build an entire fucking T-Rex animatronic.
I feel like the reason why it holds up better is because a lot of the more practical effects are in your face, whereas in Lord of the Rings, a lot of the CGI is kind of while they're painting over large spaces of area.
Yeah.
You don't really have the same kind of impact, I guess, with the CGI for Lord of the Rings as you do with the practical effects for Star Wars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The other thing, too, is some of the model work they do for Lord of the Rings is incredible. Like, if you ever see the full-size mini model of Minas Tirith, it's like, holy crap, someone actually built that.
That and the Tower of Orthanc.
Which one is that? Is that the Saruman or the Sauron?
Isengard, yeah.
Okay.
Isengard. Isengard also, they did such a fantastic job with, like, the model work is absolutely fantastic. And it's the reason why Minas Tirith holds up better than Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep did not have nearly as many models. A lot of it was done, a lot more of it was done with CG, rather than the thingy. But there are also some what I will say for the Lord of the Rings, maybe this is just because of how we've, technology's changed, our eyes have all got better at catching things like this. But the green screening for the Hobbits in the Lord of the Rings is horrible.
Well, didn't they use forced perspective most of the time?
Yeah.
Most of the time they used forced perspective, and their forced perspective moments are fucking genius. Things like the moving sets, the fact that fucking Gimli.
Fucking Gimli.
The actor for Gimli was the tallest person on the set.
Oh, that's funny.
even watching for it, you can't fucking see. You can't, like, it's impressive how good a job they did with the forced perspective and the stuff on him. But the Hobbits really, really stand out. Like in Fellowship of the Ring, they used a lot more forced perspective than they did in Two Towers.
My favorite scene is when Frodo and Gandalf are talking in the Hobbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're supposed to be right next to each other, but in real life, they're like 10 feet apart.
That's so great.
Or the really, really clever one is the wagon, where Frodo and Gandalf are sitting on a wagon together.
Oh, yeah, the wagon!
Drawn by a horse. And they didn't use any... They shifted the wagon so that Frodo was sitting, like, behind Gandalf and to the right of him, but the perspective hides the... No, there were some genius moments. It's interesting watching Lord of the Rings in a post-Game of Thrones world.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones is always about, deconstructing fantasy tropes. So there is always these very weird moments when I'm watching the film and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, if this was Game of Thrones, this would have happened. If this was Game of Thrones, this would have happened. But then my criticism of Game of Thrones and George R.R. Martin comes in with, if that had happened, this would have been a much worse movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes the generic fantasy tropes are there, that generic tropes and cliches are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Cliches become cliches because they are things that work surefire almost every single time. And also because, interestingly enough, I saw this one really, really great video essay on the idea that cliches are the communicate something to an audience because your audience is so deeply. We understand the meaning behind all the various little cliches. so it's really, really easy to use. So you can use them to display a lot of information. The example that was given was like, the naive hero walks into a marketplace in a seedy town, and a kid bumps into him, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry about that kid, and the kid runs off, and the dude realizes that his wallet's stolen. Like, that's a very overly used cliche. But on the other hand, it's also a really the audiences have seen that so much that it's a way of very quickly and very easily, without dialogue, explaining the situation to the audience. You can immediately just tell the audience, cool, this is a naive young hero who has never been to a place like this. This is a place that has economic challenges. This is a place where the kids are thieves and so on and so forth. Like, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Samuel Pierce, that's from terrible writing advice. That is what it's from.
Oh my god.
That's a fucking fantastic channel. I love terrible writing advice.
Speaking of terrible writing advice, I don't typically do a lot of writing. I do some writing. I do mostly editing. At EQLA, someone was like, "What makes a good villain?"
Oh yeah.
And I was like, super edgy, black and red, eats nails for breakfast, fucking hates Celestia. Lime green means evil, everybody.
Yes, every villain is limes. It's perfect.
And he's just like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, no, real talk, I don't do a lot of writing. I can tell you that if you give your character a happy backstory and then something that makes them, like, takes that happiness away in a very tragic way, then yeah, that makes for a good villain. Somebody who believes what they're doing is right for XYZ reason, and they don't realize what they're doing is actually really wrong. That's how you make a good villain. Other than that, I can't tell you anything.
My argument on what makes a good villain is that, because there's one thing that separates a hero and a villain, because the hero, a story is a hero wants something, and the hero goes on a journey to get that thing. Stories are very simple in that regard. Villains are heroes they're also heroes. They're heroes who they want something as well. The difference between a villain and hero is that they're going to use controversial methods. Yeah, they're going to use controversial methods and different tactics to get that thing. And the only reason they are the villain is that the way they want is that their tactics conflict with the hero's moral code.
See, I disagree. Not entirely disagree, but I disagree a little bit.
Fight.
Here's my reasoning.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say that I would believe in a villain who is doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason, but they believe it's right for XYZ reason. I would believe that more than I would believe a superhero or not superhero, just hero in general, is doing something, how do I want to word this, is good for the sake of being good. Like Harry Potter, for instance. Voldemort was evil, but what he believed he was doing was right for XYZ reason, because of the, pure blood master race or some shit. And then Harry wasn't inherently good. Harry had moral conflict. Harry had times he was like, we can just kill this person. Like in the 7th book / 7th movie, he almost uses a killing curse to kill people. Yeah. But then he's like, no, I can't do that. See, I can believe that.
That's believable. He outright used an unforgivable curse on that one... That one dude who spat on McGonagall, he used Crucio on that dude.
Rip.
He did.
Yeah, he used for spitting on McGonagall, he used an unforgivable curse on him.
Yeah, and that's a good time. Like, he used an unforgivable curse at a good time. He was harming somebody who was essentially an innocent. I can live with that. I can believe that, but I can't believe a hero who is good for the sake of being good. I can believe a hero who is flawed and has his own personal moral conflict and is like, I have to use this unforgivable curse for good reasons, even though it's really bad.
Well, yeah. So essentially, the thing is that still falls in line with my description. The villain. So in Voldemort's case, Voldemort wants a world where wizards are the ruling party.
Pure-blood master race.
So he believes that wizards, and specifically pure-blooded wizards, are the ruling party. His method of getting to that thing is killing everyone who could possibly stop him. So we've got the goal. We've got his character goal, and we've got getting it, and the audience roots for Harry Potter because Harry Potter has the moral code of the audience, which is, hey, killing people to get what you want is bad. It's why things like that's why they were able to frame Walter White as an anti-hero, as a relatable hero, because his goal was, I need to feed my family. And even after he fed his family, his goal shifted to, I need to earn I need to get the respect that I very clearly deserve. And
that will protect my family.
Exactly. Those are all things that audiences relate to. So because of that's what lets the audience frame him as the hero. You know, you've got friggin'.
You can do it, I believe.
Can't remember what I was going to say. Dr. Fractal in Terminal Secrets. He wanted to create.
Don't spoil the rest of the series now.
This isn't spoilers because it is discussed in episode 4.
Okay.
Was that so in episode 4, Stella explains that she was created to do the job of the analyst stable. Originally, Dr. Fractal did not want a group of stable ponies analyzing all the information because, you know, because ponies tend to have these horrible morals.
But they don't have the horrible morals because they were born with that. That's what they were taught.
Right. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, they tend to have morals, like morals in general.
Everyone has
whereas a programmed machine would not. So his goal, his goal is an analysis of the information for the betterment of pony kind. That's a good goal to have. His method of getting there was all the horrible shit that Stella goes through in her friggin' 4-page monologue. That episode featured so many monologues.
Oh yeah, just wait for episode 5. The monologues get fantastic.
Oh man, do I get a monologue?
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got a physical copy of the script right here because I am on the last few pages of editing, by the way. So tomorrow I'm going to start copying. I can start copying everything in Celtex and putting this in script format because, of course, Skybolt never sends me Terminal Secret scripts in proper screenplay format. He always sends it to me. He always sends it to me off of Google Docs, which then I have to take. So I always have to take his scripts and put them into screenplay format, which is difficult because Skybolt scripts are never short.
Yeah.
Well, unless they're Wasteland Survival Guide, in which they're pretty short.
Exactly. Wasteland Survival Guide, I don't write in screenplay format because that's just one character with no sound effects. You don't need screenplay format for that.
And if there are sound effects, I make them with my mouth.
Right. Every now
Technically
and
your brain,
then,
but yeah.
Every now and then I add into the Wasteland Survival script where Ditty discusses that if this scenario would happen, I would just blow a raspberry at you because I'm still very immature. Because I know Needle will always follow that up by blowing a raspberry.
Because that's like super immature.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, she keeps doing it. I'm going to start adding that into even more scripts now.
You can't do that though. You can't add it into even more scripts because people enjoy the rarity of it.
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
Well, you won't know which ones is going. We still have a whole year. You don't know how many.
We do still have a whole year. Holy crap!
God damn.
Right. We've got a whole year of Wasteland Survival Guide left.
It sounds so weird when you say it like that.
Right. I could always say we've done a whole year of Wasteland Survival Guide.
Yeah, I like the production sounding. Yeah.
The anniversary was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Which means I have been with EAST Corp for a year now.
Yeah. Which I think it's so. Needle, did you go and listen to Forward again?
No, I haven't. Oh God.
You should go and listen to that episode because you've come a very, very long way. Which is, it's funny because there's already people in that comment. There's people in that comment section who are saying, because so that there's from a username Cooking Utensils, which that's an amazing username, who opened up with, "Oh shit, I wasn't expecting the VA to be so spot on."
Aww.
And there's Comic Sans Pony dropping a comment just to annoy Skybolt, not to nitpick, but some of the words that showed up didn't match the audio. Just to annoy Skybolt.
Not gonna say nothing. Not gonna say nothing.
In general, I got a really, really great reaction from. It got a great reaction from people, but yeah, your Ditzy voice has got so much better since then. So it's really, really funny to listen to. Just a general improvement in quality.
General improvement.
It's because I've gotten a lot more comfortable with doing the voice. It used to be where I couldn't do it for very long because it involved me constricting my vocal cords, which is kind of hard, and also making it nasally, make her sound congested. So it was hard on my voice. I could only record for maybe 30 minutes and then I needed to stop. Now I can go through a whole monologue, and I don't even have to stop. I can just keep going and going and going. I actually did this for a panel once.
Oh yeah, you did a live show of this. God, I would love nothing more than, oh my God, I should totally do that for the next BabsCon.
What?
I should write out a live show.
You were supposed to write a live show for EQLA.
No, not a live Wasteland Survival Guide, an actual live show, like multiple voice actors.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, that would be fun, yeah.
Yes, because, I mean, you and Skybolt will both be at Thingy, right?
BabsCon, yeah.
That could be interesting. I'll give it some thought.
We will see.
Yeah, I was supposed to write a thing for EQLA, but EQLA took place during a really, really busy time for me. So
Yeah.
Hey, Vermont, do you still have that? Like, is it almost done?
No. I put that on hold to focus on other things since it wasn't an absurd priority. I'm still giving myself until like mid-January to finish writing my Wasteland Survival Guide chapters. I still promise I'm going to get all my Wasteland Survival Guide chapters for the next year done by mid-January. That's my promise.
I don't believe you, but okay.
I don't know why you're working so hard toward that anyway. Just get the next batch done of like a handful. You're set.
Yeah, you can get like 5 done and we're good.
Because I'm so fucking lazy. That's why.
You could just do what Skybolt does and update the same Google Doc with the stories, and then I already have that Google Doc.
Yeah.
All I have to do is go to the part where he says record here, and then it says stop at the very bottom at the stuff he's not done writing.
Yeah, I got a great system.
No, because this method really annoys Needle.
Damn.
What method really annoys Needle?
All methods.
All of my methods. Every
Damn.
single method I use for anything.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with giving them all at once. Like, I love them, because it means I can pick what I want to do at that time. Just be like, okay, here's a batch. Oh, this sounds like a good story. I'll go ahead and do this one, and then send it. And then it's also, I hate it because then I see how much I have to record, and then I'm like, fuck.
Oh, god damn it. They're taunting me. So, fucking, the Audio Drama Awards are now announcing the various winners, which still bugs me because we were nominated for so many categories.
I know.
And they told us no because we were a fandom thing.
Exactly. Which is a shame because, like I say, I mean, fucking, yeah, Wasteland Survival Guide got a pretty big one for best best new anthology series. Needle Stitch got one for best performer. Fucking so many. So boo. Kelly got a nomination for his sound editing.
They didn't even
really?
give us a shout out.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah,
they were going to give us a shout out, and they didn't.
No, they did give us a shout out. It just did nothing.
Wow, dick.
Right? I mean, technically, what I should actually fucking do, because we were finalists we were finalists for Terminal Secrets episode 1 and episode 2, where for episode 1 and 2 both were grouped together for best writing in a fan adaptation, and then the voice of Dr. Needle, Hypnodunk, was a finalist for best supporting voice actress. So I technically, I should actually go find the the finalist badges from that year and stick them up on our fucking channel banner next to the Frederator thing.
We should. That'd be fun.
It counts as accolades. I should go try and dig those out.
Yeah, no, it was good times. I wish we had more recognition in like a proper way. I know it's derivative works, but as I've argued at panels and stuff before, everything is derivative in one way or another. So,
I think that just makes it a little bit harder for us because we are a derivative work and people hear, oh, followed Equestria, you guys only do My Little Pony. And it's like, no, we've started branching out. We do more than just My Little Pony now. We have original work.
Right. I've been writing original work for the studio for a while now. I've released several originals. I still love the pony shit. God, I love writing the fucking pony shit.
I tell most people, you can't even tell it's horse until somebody makes a horse pun or you hear hoof steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because,
That's how I just like writing in general. It's like you want it to sound of quality no matter what the characters are actually about,
Exactly. Although there is one thing that can always help you tell it's horse, which is the cover art.
Yeah.
That tends to. We need. I kind of feel like we need to show this off on the podcast for all our lovely viewers. I'm sending it in. I'm sending it into the EAST Corp chat because we have to. I feel like as the thingy, it'll be in there in a second. But in the meantime. I completely agree with you. You can't tell it's horse unless you hear a specific reference or one of the many horse jokes that jump in every now and then. Because, amazingly, when you write things for horses, it writes out exactly like people.
Except for with magic noises.
Yeah, it's just about having respect for the material. It's like, you actually care about the characters. It's not that it's about horses, it's that it's about characters. And that's the fundamental difference you see in a lot of things like this.
That's what I'm kind of hoping, with this next con that I'm going to be going to, NewCon, it's an anime convention. So I'm hoping that what I can do is I can get people to listen to our shit and forget that it's pony.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I can see where you're coming from there. Really, you can even kind of ignore the horse stuff because it's not. No one ever comes and gives us and says, "Oh my God, I love what you've done with. I love what you've done in comparison to My Little Pony. I love how you've translated magical friendship horses or the lessons of My Little Pony. It's wow, I like how this story that you created is taking this turn. I mean, obviously, yes, we are setting in the world of K-Cat and Fallout and My Little Pony, but we've carved down our own unique creations within that, which, God, that feels great.
Okay, the art is on screen. You should be seeing it soon.
I've had people, like, at EQLA specifically, I had someone come up to me and was like, I came to this con for my daughter because my daughter is really into My Little Pony. I don't get it, but she dragged me to your panel because she really likes your content. And I have to say that I now want to listen to your stuff because it doesn't remind me of Pony.
Oh, that's adorable.
I was like, yay!
We win.
They're like, you made me want to listen to this because it doesn't sound inherently Pony. And I was like, I did my job right.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Because we write hardcore character drama.
Hardcore.
Because that's not really a description of us that I've ever really thought about using before, but in sort of describing, discussing my own sort of, with a friend of mine discussing my own sort of trepidations with writing Untypical, I kind of had to realize I had to use that description because that the shift is from hardcore character drama and very serious stuff to lighthearted adventure. So that was, I kind of had to realize, that is exactly what we write. It's, your fucking Confessions of a Wasteland Pony is two people sitting in a room for 4 to 5 hours.
Hell yeah.
So you don't really hear magical horse noises.
Right? So, so what we've got up here is our new Terminal Secrets cover art, which, oh my god. It's
amazing.
It looks fantastic.
It really does.
So, yeah, fucking, this cover art came out so much better than I was expecting. The artist, I did not know this at the time, but the artist is a huge Lovecraft fan.
Oh, yeah.
So I suppose, Skybolt, if you commission this artist, you should get them to do some Maricello mana
Oh my
stuff.
god! Ghoul Derpy! Can we get them to do a Ghoul Derpy?
Oh my gosh, that could be. We're definitely in talks to do more with them.
Because I haven't, I personally have not seen any really good Ghoul Derpy.
Oh yeah. No, we can absolutely get the artist to do that stuff. This came out absurdly well. Firstly, I couldn't help but joke about this, but this is a very serious point. Butterfly lost a lot of weight. Apparently, the stress and mental anxiety of becoming a mass murderer did some really, really good things for her waistline and her booty.
Hell yeah.
But there were some lovely little touches in here that the artist added without me knowing. Things like the fact that Butterfly is striking that very classic Little Pip in the stable silhouette pose.
Oh yeah, she is. That's good.
But it's interesting looking at I posted a very, very long discussion about it on in the Patreon chat, which if anyone else ever wants another reason to join the Patreon chat, there are very, very long behind the scenes paragraphs that I add in that generally don't get told during the normal period.
And butts.
And butts. There are so many butts. And one human titty.
One human titty.
Just one.
I came across that on Facebook and I was like, that's a boobie.
Yeah, no, that was a titty. So it was something interesting. So the original Terminal Secrets art is just this absurdly bright and colorful thing.
Let's see if I have that.
Okay. So, speaking of boobs, I'm sorry.
Do it.
Bab.
Okay, on screen.
I was showing my parents around because I'm a California native. My family live near San Francisco where BabsCon takes place.
Ew.
So they decided to come see me. And every time my parents come and see me at BabsCon, I always manage to sneak them into the vendor hall without a badge. And I walk them around and I let them see everything. And we went by my friend Artiel's booth, and they saw one of his anthro pictures of Epona, where she was dressed up as the Skull Kid. And my dad looks at me and he goes, "That horse has boobies." Yes, Dad, yes it does. Let's keep walking.
Oh, God. Oh, okay, so the art is up. So, I mean, just look how absurdly bright and colourful that is. Because, so it's got a lot of green for the stick because it was the Stable Tech days.
Yeah.
Luckily, this horse does not have boobs, so it's okay for Needle's dad to see it. But like, it's just it's got such a
of that horse has.
I love that specific use of words.
Amazing.
I love it's got like the fucking New Vegas style sign at the top.
Yeah. I always like that too.
And Butterfly surrounded by all these characters, the Stable Tech logo big front and center. The Crusader mainframe's presence is relegated to a very small box and like just a little fucking bit of text at the bottom saying Crusader. And ever since then, I've always tried to create contrast when getting new art. So none of the first piece of art was intentional. I didn't design any of it. All I said, I kind of said to the artist, "Okay, cool. I need you to leave space for 8 characters and Butterfly in the center, and leave some reference to the Crusader mainframe." And then the artist went and put that together. When we moved into And it's very claustrophobic. So we decided to play on that because then when we moved to the second piece of Terminal Secrets art, which I'll send to Skybolt now.
Oh, I've got that. Yeah.
You have that too. Where that was made when we first when EAST Corp was first founded. When EAST Corp was founded, we had to. Well, at least I knew for Terminal Secrets it needed new cover art. It needed to be...
It needed art that was in widescreen ratio.
That was another thing. Was for some reason the artist did it as a poster. It was annoying. So, like, there were immediately a lot of changes to this, though, because we added a lot more blues. This whole image has a general blue color grade to it, because it needed to immediately be... You look at it, it's like, oh, EAST Corp colors. Cool. So we have, but then also made a few other changes. Butterfly Stitch had her mane changed to evoke the more common style, the more Fallout-y hairstyles, that sort of 50s, 60s overly done hair. The Crusader mainframe is brought front and center, and she gets a second appearance in one of the background pictures. Pink Pippin makes a reappearance because at the time of writing this, Pink Pippin was meant to be a much bigger character. Dr. Fractal's role was originally Pink Pippin's role. And then the actress dropped out, and I couldn't find another voice actress who could do a voice like Pink Pippin.
Yeah.
So I just had to write that part out of the story and reconceive it. The others the last two were meant to be references to upcoming stories. The stable there was originally going to be a stable on the moon. That's what Terminal Secrets 4 originally was. So
ridiculous.
When I handed the story to that was the very first pitch that Dan Mohan brought to me. I fucking loved it. I loved it so much, but we couldn't create a story which used the moon to its proper advantage, so we got rid of it in favor of Mint Cream, which was a much better. Discuss the other bar that says either everything is evil or nothing is, because that is still a storyline that's coming up in Terminal Secret 6, and I'm not going to spoil anything. But there was a shift here, a general shift with color grade, with making the Crusader mainframe more important, with making this less clutter. Butterfly Stitch is slightly more isolated.
Plus, it's Zeplich's art, which is always great. He had a really great, this is what people might remember the original Rose Petal Blushing art. Bammo, look at that. Yeah. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Right?
Zeplich did some fantastic stuff. And then, of course, we push into the new Terminal Secrets part, which takes what Art 2 did and pushes it even further. That everything in there was very, very not everything, because there was things like the Lil Pip pose, which wasn't intentional, but most of the things in there were very, very deliberate. We've now pushed from Butterfly being surrounded by 8 ponies with bright colors to Butterfly with 2 ponies and the Crusader mainframe to now Butterfly is completely alone, surrounded by technology. She's got a camera looking down on her. She is thin and terrified. Her mane has gone back to her original style because she's not styling her mane anymore. And you've got the fucking Stella has got her massive fucking face on it in the multiple colors. You know, the fractal corruption is setting in, and even the way the title is done is so much more subdued. There's no big New Vegas-esque sign there anymore. It's just like the nice clean text fucking saying, this is what it is, this is what you've come for. Are you sure you don't want to go watch something happier like The Engineer?
You see, what I love about this art is the background, like all of this side machinery and everything. This is like almost Fallout 1 art looking stuff, which I love. That's the reason I want to get some art done from this, guys, because this is gorgeous machine work.
The machines are fucking. This was, I think, he spent the longest time on the background for this.
By far, yeah.
Yeah, though he built the backgrounds are done in 3D, so the backgrounds are all were done in Maya, which he then painted to look like 2D, which I think saved him some time.
I know, it just looks freaking awesome to me. I just I love the way that looks.
Oh shit, Kelly.
Hello.
We got our first one. We actually have a musician who's agreed to join us.
Oh my god.
Wait, seriously? Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh my
so
god.
This has been the saga of Kelly and I trying to find new musicians.
Where? Who you been talking to?
Well, so I used to work I used to do work at the Wine Time studio. And because they did a lot of music synthesias, they had a lot of musicians on staff. So I went in and I said, okay, cool. Look, do you know anyone who's slightly newer at this? Because obviously I don't want to hire you specifically because I know are probably quite good at this.
And would charge us.
Would charge us. Do you know anyone else? And he's like, no, I'd be interested in helping. I'm down. I know it's not paying, but I've got time and could use the experience.
Oh, fun.
Like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
This fucking... I think... I kind of feel for us that's like the next... That's like the next step for us, is being able to utilize our music team more. Like, we stretch poor Kelly. You guys don't hear him much in the podcast, but we work him really, really hard behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because that means that Kelly gets the necessities.
The bare necessities.
There are all the small little touches. I have been wanting to add leitmotifs for the last year, and just haven't brought myself to making the request because I didn't want to overburden the music team.
Yeah. And we had one of our music team leave. Yeah, which is sad because he did do tons of stuff. Like, he didn't have the time, really. I mean, I'm surprised he was in the studio anyway from how he explained it. But
Wait,
he was Randall.
Oh.
And then he was doing tons of stuff, and it was like, for the scoring for behind the scenes or whatever. He was like, oh yeah, I'll really do that, and I was helping him out a little bit, and then he produces like something really, really cool, and he's like, oh no, I don't have enough time for the rest of it. And it's like, oh no. So it's quite a big loss, I say, with Randall, but yeah. Hopefully, with more people, we can do some shit. I want an EP out, but I don't have time to make an EP myself, so.
we do that's the thing with EAST Corp, where we really work our asses to the bone here.
Yeah.
So
we need more people.
We work our asses off, and Vermont still doesn't appreciate me.
Oh.
And of course, we never put anything on people that we haven't done to significant degrees. Like, there is a lot of time that goes into the writing and planning for everything, too.
Oh, 100%.
So we're not just fucking around, we swear.
I mean, a lot of what we do is just fucking around.
It's controlled fucking around in productive directions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is like porn. It's controlled fucking.
Oh, yeah.
You are all very welcome.
No.
Needle sits quietly.
What about me? What?
Just the irony that, a podcast with 3 dudes, and then James makes a porn reference. Why would you do that, James?
Jesus Christ. Stop it. You're going to bring up some weird fan art.
No.
Stop it.
Oh my god.
No, I wouldn't jeopardize the channel by putting anything on screen. Like what the fan art that you have sent us in the past.
Wait. Have we been sent porn fan art that I haven't been told about?
No, we have semi-lewds that we have been that Needle showed us in the past.
Oh yeah, I have lewds of needle stitch.
Yes. Yes, you've had friends making lewds of needle stitch, which, for the record, because you have been on the record about your policy on needle stitch lewds before, so.
My policy is you need to ask first.
Yeah.
And, I've actually had a couple of people who have been really nice and, DM'd me on Twitter, and it's just like, hey, I want to draw some art of you. Would you be okay? And if I do, I will send you the final copy before I post it anywhere to make sure you're okay with it. So I've had people who have, been super considerate about it, and I appreciate that, because ultimately I am representing a YouTube channel, and I don't want anything made that could make people believe that we have I guess, impact the way people view us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We haven't officially started the EAST Corp, Rule 34 channel yet, so he can't get ahead of us on that.
I mean, we have the booty barn.
That's the demo. Where it's trial and error.
Oh yeah, we have the booty barn, and unfortunately, I had to make it a rule. Stop means stop. Because some people don't realize that stop means stop, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I actually had to put that rule up because I thought it was an unspoken rule.
Right.
But apparently it wasn't, so now it's an official rule. Stop means stop. I have been thinking about becoming a little bit more lax on the rules, but I'm not quite sure, because then that opens up to a new can of worms that I don't want to quite touch yet.
I mean, you certainly have started to become more relaxed, because at this point, for a lot of the art that gets added onto here, 90% of it, you basically just need to draw a line. It's one line away from being 100% lewd.
Right.
Fantastic.
But the booty barn, I told everybody that implied is fine.
Implied.
But
implied and boobs. There's a lot of boobs and butt on this. Like
there's a lot of boobs and butt.
I'm actually not sure what gets added more. Wait, no, it's the butt. It's definitely the butt.
Which is wrong. Boobs are always better than butt.
Exactly. Boobs are better than butt. 100%.
Now, Kelly, what do you think? Boobs are better or butts are better?
Both. Why would you rate one
Kelly's
better than the other?
Kelly agrees with me, but both are good.
Yes, exactly.
Boobs are better. See, butt is okay, but butt is a distraction from the actual thing of attraction, which is hips. That's the actual key. Hips are better than butt.
Okay, so Ardiel is currently in the process of making mouse pads.
Wait, what?
Making what?
Is in the process of making mouse pads.
Oh, mouse pads. Okay.
Mouse pads, like the wrist support mouse pads. And the very first one that he made is derpy, but the wrist support part is 2 bubbles.
Bubble butt.
It's super cute, and I really like it. And I'm not gonna post it because like he hasn't made it official yet. So out of respect for the artist, I'm not gonna post it. But it's really good, and I kind of want to commission him to do a needle stitch one with 2 yarn balls.
Oh, that's cute.
See, I don't know. I've never been a fan of that style of mouse pad, like for use or for aesthetic.
Yeah, I could never get used to it because the way I use a mouse is just too chaotic. I couldn't stay contained like that. But it's a neat idea.
It's actually really cute. The derpy.
Say again. You went out. Oh.
The derpy one is super cute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the definitely more writing to be done over the holidays too. I've begun my 10-day holiday leave, which is a godsend because I have been so sick of work. It's one big project I've been doing like nonstop, so like just to get away literally for the rest of the year. That sounds pretty nice right now.
Oh wow! So
don't make me choose my babies.
So I mean, freaking no, it's been great to actually get some to have no work or school stuff to actually sit down and without any guilt get writing done. Because that's always the most infuriating thing. Put a lot of time into this, but this doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
This all still has to come secondary to, for Needle and Skybolt, this has to come secondary to work. For Kelly and I think. Wait, Kelly, are you still a student?
Yeah, I'm uni.
Yeah. So Kelly and I are still students, which yes, that makes me feel very young.
I imagine all English universities are like Hogwarts. I can only assume.
No, unfortunately not. It's much shitter than that.
My high school was like Hogwarts.
With the random spells of music when you look at the towers.
I've showed pictures of. Have I showed pictures of my high school on this chat before?
I think we've seen the video where you get smuggled in. That's about it.
No. That's my university.
It looked like an old, lovely house. Like it was like a mansion or something. That's what it looked like.
Hang on. I suppose. Me. Found it. This is always This is always one of my favorite things to do because it always surprises the fuck out of people that this is a high school in Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, dropped it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, my
yeah, I remember this now. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It's just a castle. It's like a giant fucking castle.
Yeah, my high school was like a... That's so weird. That's a high school. What the fuck?
No, I mean, like, you go to Britain, so my school was called Admiral Lord Nelson School and was meant to be shaped like The Victory.
Admiral Lord Nelson.
British as fuck.
Yeah. No, and the building was
so
meant to be shaped like a boat, and it's not a boat. And now I'm going to find it now, obviously.
That's a little bit too far.
Like a boat?
Yeah. I get that he's like, an admiral and stuff, but still, that's a little bit too far.
It's stupid.
It's like a theme of high school. Like, everybody needs to dress up as pirates. They have pirate classes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, fucking right. Samuel Pierce, if you want to make a Castlevania movie using my old high school, that's fine. Just be aware that they charge 50,000 rand per day.
So was that like $10?
Yeah. So to be fair, in dollars, that's like $3,000 a day. It's
Wait, what?
But yeah,
that's not bad. What the fuck?
Wait, $3,000 a day?
Yeah. So So look, for South Africa, it's a fuckload of money. It is so much money.
Wait, no, that's a ridiculous anywhere. I think you mean annually, right?
No, a day.
So one day, and you spend $3,000. That's like, so 1 week is a car.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I literally don't believe you. That there's something you need to go into more detail about.
Well, no, it makes sense, especially if it's an active high school, and they need to shut down parts of the high school in order for you to film. They still need to make that money back, because the kids, like, I don't know how, like, for America, we use taxpayers' money to pay for high schools. I don't know about South Africa, but, like,
that's a private high school, so yeah, there's no government.
Okay, so yeah. So if the kids who are taking those classes can't take those classes for the day, the school is losing money. So they need to make that money back in some way.
You mean it's the school? You mean for shooting? It's $3,000 a day.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant like per student. I was like, that sounds ridiculous.
Oh God,
Jesus.
No. No, for
it's like I went to a private school too, but that was like $3,000 a year.
No.
Okay, sorry. Yes, $3,000 a day for filming. Absolutely. Sorry.
Yes, okay. for filming, that's absurdly cheap. I mean, to kind of put it in to put it in context, to get a highway in Joburg is cheaper than that. To get one of the biggest highways, would cost you. It's 15,000 rand, so that is $1,000. Something
like that. Yeah, 12.
Maybe slightly less.
Yeah.
Like, we could, honestly, EAST Corp, after a few months, could block off could block off a Joburg highway with our budget. Let's not do that, though, but we could.
Why not?
We'll just bribe someone in the ANC. They won't care.
Oh, they might, because, we don't have, because the ANC isn't run by Jacob Zuma anymore.
That's true. It's a bit of a weird time right now.
Because it was the convention. Well, our equivalent to we call it the conference, not the convention. But the ANC has elected The ANC has elected its new president, which it was a close fucking call, because it was almost Lamini Zuma, which is Zuma's ex-wife. And she would have been,
what the heck? It's like Zimbabwe. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no. She would have been horrible. She is horrifyingly corrupt, exceptionally inept. She would have been a terrible choice. But luckily, instead of that, we got Cyril Ramaphosa. And since the ANC win every election, it means Cyril Ramaphosa will be the next president of South Africa, and that's a good thing. Okay. Yes, he is also corrupt. He is very, very corrupt.
Okay.
But on the bright side, he's a good economist, and considering that the South African economy, I mean, the markets reacted so well to him being nominated for him taking over the presidency of the ANC, that our rand to dollar value went from 13 rand 40 before to the dollar to 12 rand 50.
Nice.
That's a huge drop. It's been years since the rand has been that strong. Which is weird, because I remember growing up and the rand was 6 rand to the dollar.
Yeah,
Yeah, now it's a lot weaker. Oh my god. I really just Oh God, Zuma is the worst.
I actually legit, like, we should take a trip to the Philippines because $1,000 in the Philippines is like $20 here.
Oh yeah, I have a friend who's Filipino. She goes back to Manila every other year. It's one of my early collabs, Moonsy. She's Filipino.
Oh, I remember Moonsy.
I miss Moonsy. I don't talk to her much anymore.
Disappeared. She got married and moved and disappeared.
Yeah.
So the thingy, no, you guys must just come to South Africa. Everything's cheap there. Well, for you, everything will be cheap for you here. Nothing. We don't have any conventions of note. We've got Rage, which and that's it.
Rage.
What is Rage?
Rage is is like a kind of an all-purpose geek convention, but it's pretty bad. So I mean, like most of the so the problem is that the South African geek community is very, very small. So typically, if you go all throughout the year, they have a bunch of very small fairs, and it's usually the same stall holders at every single fair. So you go, so it's usually the same at every single one.
Sweet.
Rage is basically just all of them, but on a much bigger scale.
All right.
I mean, yes, we do. It's cool. We do get some of the overseas developers do send some things to us. So like sometimes we'll get some early previews of games, which is cool, but no one absurdly interesting comes to speak to us. Rage doesn't do a hell of a lot to promote the local game developers, which that has always annoyed me. That infuriates me. That they've got the home coded section, which is a section just for the South African game developers, but it's not like they have them come out and speak on stage, or they focus a lot around them because they can't market shit around them, which just bugs me. It bugs me to no fucking end. There's no panels like that. I don't get why they don't have panels. They should. That seems like something. Even if they were paid panels, that seems like a very small thing that would greatly improve the convention. It's not even a convention, like Walt is saying in the comment section, because he's in South Africa as well with me. It's an exposition. It's an expo.
Oh, so it's like E3.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like E3 but South African.
Even E3 has like some semblance of a panel, though.
Yeah. No, I would fucking a panel also because fuck, it's expensive. Stalls at Rage are so fucking expensive. I mean, I've seen people who paid 30,000 rand, which that's about $2,000 for a small ass fucking stall. Where it's like, you know, we don't pay for shit like BabsCon. We don't pay.
No, they house us, which is great.
Exactly. They house us in there, and Walt, there's plenty of spaces that they could host panels in the dome, because there are a whole bunch of rooms on the second floor, which they usually use for press and media stuff. There is still space in the dome where they could hold panels.
Space in the dome.
So the dome is kind of like the big arena where pretty much everything in Joburg happens.
Nice.
That's like the big community.
It's the dome.
God, yeah, no, that's like one of those. It's like a Joburg landmark at this point. So that's my griping about the state of conventions.
South
in
Africa.
Literally one of my primary reasons for wanting to go to the States is just being able to go to conventions and engage with the culture.
Oh.
And engage with the nerd culture. That is like, I would really, really like that.
So you need to go to a con with me because people don't give a shit what I do anymore and let me get away with murder.
Oh. That's kind of good, though. You can get some murdered.
It's actually really nice because I'm friends with a lot of the musicians in the pony fandom. So if I want to go somewhere, I'm just like, hey, Travis, can I follow you? Yeah, sure, come on.
Yeah, see, when I move, that's the plan. Graduate, go live with Needle in her basement.
Bama.
I don't have a basement. You can have your own room.
Yeah, I don't know if Portland has basements. I know California doesn't really have basements.
Portland has basements, but that's only in, like, the older houses.
Yeah. It's a more archaic thing. Or, like, a Midwestern thing if you have, like, Tornado Alley and stuff.
Yeah, now we started having flooding, and so...
You don't want a basement. I'm sorry.
So yeah, your mom's gonna come and live with me, and we're gonna come and bug you, Skybolt, and then we'll fly Kelly down, and we'll all just hang out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and then we need to find a way to fly Kelly over.
That's what I just said. We'll fly Kelly over.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Fucking open up your ears.
Open up your eyes.
Ears. Hear the world from where I'm shouting.
I am still surprised by how ridiculously popular that got. Holy cow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I just thought of a parody.
What's that song sitting at? What
I
parody
just
did you
thought
think?
of
4.3.
I just thought of a parody.
What parody?
No, that's my job.
Hear the world from where I stand. I am fucking steamrolled. I'm so sick of this shit.
Holy shit, it's at 4,300 views.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's our biggest video now.
Yeah,
It's probably because it's a relative, like, content.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. I know what the people like.
Kelly's in charge now.
Fuck.
Kelly's always in charge. She's a resident hip thrusting monkey.
Yeah.
The closest we have to that, like just to give you like our top 10 videos, is behind the scenes cult classic, the Straight Outta Stable 1,000 subscriber special, the Wasteland Survival Guide Forward, Terminal Secrets 4, Terminal Secrets 1, Behind the Scenes Bell's Audition, Terminal Secrets 3, Confessions 6 at number 3, Confessions 5 at number 2, and Open Up Your Eyes at number 1. Like, you've got a whole bunch of, you've got two animations, the oldest episode to Wasteland Survival Guide, Skybolt rapping, and our two longest running headlining series. And then it's like, and then Kelly comes in and is like, guys.
Hold on, I can do this. Hold my tea.
Exactly. Hold my tea.
I've got this. Yeah, I do just find that amusing. It's like you guys consistently put out great content, and then I just go, just give me like a year and I'll come up with something, and then it's like bam, it goes to the top.
And we're all just like, fuck you, Kelly. And he goes,
yeah.
Right?
And that's why we love him.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my god, it's incredible how that snuck up on me. I didn't even notice how well
it snuck up on me too. I was like, what the heck? That like exploded.
Skybot has asked for a song, a new cover or whatever. And that should be quite popular.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I hope that does well.
It should be a much wider audience as well.
Yeah, we could get a decent audience with that.
It could be quite good.
Well, so I came up with an idea for
oh god,
for a parody of Time to Be Awesome.
Awesome.
Which honestly, that would work really, really well because I mean, that song is essentially one character goes to another character who has a group of characters, a crew of characters have been feeling like they haven't been able to live up to their potential because their evil overlord is stopping them, and then they tell the evil overlord to fuck off and then they do their own thing. Does that sound familiar to any of you?
No.
I'm sorry, my thinking cap is not on right now.
Oh my god! It's us, you motherfuckers! It's us!
Oh. Yes.
God damn it, you killed my thunder!
Good job, Kelly. That's why we keep
No worries.
I think it's basically us.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So there's a parody idea for Kelly and his one-man music team.
I'll add it to my list. I've got January the 31st is when I want to get every... no, I can't say the name of it.
Yeah, you can't say that. That's a big surprise.
So for January the 31st is when I put my deadline for getting what I need done for this new cover.
Hells yeah.
And I'll say the end of February for the next one or whatever. We'll do like a month each or whatever. February. So that'll be right. Yeah, time to be awesome.
Oh,
and I'm quite... Oh yeah, it definitely could be. Yeah, I'm just really chuffed because I now use a to-do list to keep myself organised.
I should really start doing that, but...
It's really good. Just so helpful.
One thing I have on my to-do list is to finish editing shit for Untypical, and that's only because I have monetary motivation.
Dude, my finances get so much better next year, too. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a small surprise that I've been literally working on this whole podcast. I have been colorizing the teacup.
Oh shit! Have you? Okay. Let's see how that looks.
It took me a while. I had to use Threshold like I normally use on the Wasteland Survival Guide.
Aw, that's fucking adorable.
What? Oh. That's super cute.
Oh my god, that's very cute.
What's on? Oh, it's like what's on the top of your head? Oh, it's nothing. It's just exclamation point.
Bammo.
I love the little needle sticks blep. Actually, no, that's not a blep. That's a mlep.
That's actually like the third picture that I have with a tiny blep. So. In real life, my tongue is tied down. I can't stick it out very far. That's about how far I can stick my tongue. That's it. Tiny little blet. So I have a friend who, like, always draws needle stitch with a blet. Tiny little blet.
Blem.
It's
no, that looks absolutely fantastic. I like the Threshold style though.
Where's Samuel? He needs to see.
I know.
There he is.
There he is. He's in there. No Vermonts were harmed in the making of that fan art.
Why is Vermont so worried? Like now, I need to go back and listen to that episode so I get.
Maybe he's surprised. Maybe that Vermont is just super surprised at the because Skybolt's teacup's about to fall over.
Yeah. It's okay. He survived.
Or maybe Vermont's concerned that there's going that there's going to be a tea made mixed of Vermont, Needle, and Skybolt, and that just seems like a terrible idea to him.
Kelly's the one holding the spoon. We're all living in his teacup world.
Oh my god! So I can imagine Kelly just sort of. With the teacup, he picks up. See, he's leaving me alone. He's picking up Skybolt and Needle. He's picking up the Americans, and he's saying, "All right, you loyalist bluecoats, it's time for my revenge. You threw my tea into the harbor. I'm going to throw you into the harbor."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So I saw this Twitter post. Right, this person posted, Rarity held a gem that was about the size of her face, and she said it was 20 carats. Now it makes me wonder, how big are the ponies? And then Lauren Faust replies, when the hell will you guys realize I just have these little guys in my garage and I film them on the daily? So that's what that reminds me of. It's just, we're all tiny and we're all actually being controlled by Kelly.
I like that.
I like it. Also, Lauren Faust is fantastic on Twitter. That her thing about Soren and Spitfire being friends with benefits is still fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's my headcanon too.
Yeah, that's been my headcanon for those. Well, my headcanon is that the entire Wonderbolts team is a mutually consensual
They practice on the regular.
I reckon that the Wonderbolts team is a polyamorous relationship.
Oh, okay. Samuel said why he looks concerned. Skybolt wants to play bumper cars.
Oh, God, no.
Just shuffles over.
That's so cute.
I love, but that just makes Needle's expression even more funny. She's like, I know exactly what you two are doing. I don't give a fuck. I'm not even gonna look at the explosion.
I just imagine like a comedically high-pitched whine coming out of Skybolt's wings as he's flapping super fast.
Right? It's like a hummingbird. Hummingbolt.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a good year next year. Obviously, we've had a pretty incredible year. This
post that in the gods chat so I can steal it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna steal it.
No, you're right. Next year we're topping ourselves. We are topping ourselves next year.
I mean, we got Terminal Secrets 5, which I'm pretty proud of, and then Confession 7. Hopefully, a month or two after that, we'll see.
Yeah.
Still got to get that finished.
I'm excited for what this year holds. Like, I've become so much more confident with recording. I'm just so excited to hear what my progress throughout this year now that I'm starting out. I guess with a bit more experience and not so worried about recording.
That's it's like it's you took a very massive leap this year, so it's going to be interesting to see what leap you take next year.
I'm gonna outdo myself. Shit.
I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see my own progress next year.
Vermont, you've definitely taken a lot of leaps. Kelly, you've been awesome the entire time, so fuck off.
Yeah, Kelly has been just non-stop fantastic.
Really, as soon as we got Verismo finished, it was like, okay, if we break out of the studio, we got to take him with us.
Yeah, we got to put him in a suitcase and keep him with us.
Yeah, now I want to scroll back because James did his great retrospective. So let's do a quick recap of I guess the whole studio, the whole year, because I know our anniversary cast was a bit weird.
Yeah.
So,
while you're
right away.
Back, let me just go put my kettle on and make myself a second round of tea real quick.
Okay. I do feel like
we're gonna be here for a while.
Okay, I've got to get caffeine too at some point. But yeah, so if you go all the way to the beginning, it's like we had Fallout Day 3, which was the Dashite song, and which Kelly also helped with some drums. And then literally we had a podcast after that, and that was when James and I were like, okay, we're fucking done with this.
We were like, fuck this shit.
I think it was Tuesday after that. It was like the thing was like I'm trying to remember the chronology. I think it was like Fallout Day was on a Friday, and then over the weekend we had the podcast, I think maybe Sunday, and then Monday or Tuesday, Vermont came to me and he's like, hey, I think I'm done. I want to leave. What do you think? What should we do? And that's when I told him, I just so happened to have this channel that I created way the heck back during the Duchess Horror. And I was pretty much always planning, at some point I'd have to break away. I thought what would happen, honestly, is that they would, completely shut me down off the channel and be like, you got to change everything about Confessions or whatever, and then I just fucking pull out myself. But,
you were ready to stage a coup from the start.
Yeah, it had been a long time coming. We'll talk about that someday. And and so then it gave me the chance to okay, we're doing this. And so Vermont started gathering the troops. He started talking to Kelly and Krelak and some other people, and in the meantime, I started re-rendering all my old Confessions videos with the new EAST Corp ending, and so we were able to post the original names and versions and get those up on the channel. And then, yeah, we backed up a bunch of other stuff, too, like other songs and things that we were taking with us. Because the music comes with me, you know, when I was still running the show directly. Yeah, and then we had our first podcast. And you can see the first two where it's just the two of us and then three of us just screwing around. It's Schrodinger's podcast, just to be happy to be done.
Oh my god, right? Like, you can... it's so much fun listening to that first podcast. We are so much happier.
Oh my gosh, so much happier.
Like, that the opening to it is so absolute... Like, it's just... God, we're happier. It's like when you... It's like if you go and watch the characters from Arrow go and act on The Flash. They are so much fucking happier there. You were happier at EAST Corp.
But I think the last Stable Talk, episode 4 that we had, that was quite good because I think we knew at that point we were leaving, and it was kind of like a bye, but we're not going to tell you just yet.
Oh, I agree with that. No, I actually very much love all the Stable Talks for that reason. All 4 of them are kind of like the descent of like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah,
right.
And it's actually it's weird you can see it because the first one. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, no, you continue.
Yeah, so the first episode is normal, all ships ahead, you know, like, because it's, well, I wasn't on it for one, but,
so it was terrible.
You know, yeah, and then the second one is like, we start almost plotting and kind of forming our little group, and we fuck around. Then on the third one, I think we're like, yeah, we're definitely fucking around. And then the fourth one, we're like, yeah, we're out of here. And it's just sort of, yeah, that's literally the downfall of Stable Tech could be expressed in our podcast because we were just watching it and we're like, we're getting out what we can.
I've genuinely been considering taking all of the Stable, only 4 of them, and compressing them into, like, just making them one video and then releasing them onto this channel, just being like...
Oh, we should do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll look at
I've got the MP3 for all 4 of them that I, like, downloaded and listened to. Like, especially right after we broke off, I had them all, and I'd, like, just play Fallout 4 and listen through them, like, yeah!
I never re-listened to our old podcasts. You know, living through myself is already pretty annoying.
Don't want to do that again. Ew.
I don't want to do that again. I never re-listened to my old work.
The Stable Talks are worth it. They're fun, especially the first one. How happy you are that we finally got Terminal Secrets out there.
Oh my god! Right?
Yeah.
I went and resurrected Stable Talk for the pure reason of I was so excited about Terminal Secrets that I needed a platform to talk about it on. Because that was one of those things where Stable Tech technically let me do whatever I want, but also technically still kind of had a leash on me. Like, I still had to go through certain channels in order to get a video release.
Yeah, over 2016, like, the leashes were all starting to crumble and dissolve. Like, everyone stopped caring, even enforcing the contrived rules they had come up with.
Yeah, but even when I wasn't asking permission, when I was just saying, okay, cool, I'm releasing a video up on there, even that was annoying. You know, there are the most freeing thing about the EAST Corp channel was it was like, oh, cool, I've released this piece of content. I'm going to upload it now. I have an idea for a short story. Cool, I'm going to make it and I'm going to upload it.
That's essentially how the first Fallout Day came to pass, too, was I'd gone through some shit with the studio, and they'd shut me down and took Brave New World off the channel. And so then with Get Happy, I'm like, you know, I'm just going to fucking talk to Tyler. He's the only one that matters, ultimately. And then when I worked with him and we got his great art done of the explosion and my baritone character and Sweetie Belle, then it's like, okay, we're just going to post it. Fuck you. We literally told no one. We just posted it. And, you know, it was on the day. Yeah, and so then when we started the channel, we got those up right away. I got the confessions answers, not the question video, of course, but, like, it's the Q&A video, which worked out pretty well. I got Brave New World up there immediately because I had to for my own sake. All the Fallout days. We got Stripemare and Gilded Age I added just for, like, continuity. I essentially wanted this to be, like, a new repository of just, like, all my Fallout Equestria works, too.
Yeah.
And then we had the Derpy Doo trailer and Ditsy Doo, and that's where we got in contact with Nettle Stitch.
With Nettlestitch. Nettlestitch.
And then right after that, actually, the first piece of like real new release content was the remastered Terminal Secrets Episode 1. Again,
I'm actually so proud I sucked up the courage to do an audition.
And you were the only one that stepped up.
Did I really? Was I the only one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
only one.
That's. Oh shit! Yes, we never told Needle this. Yes, you were the.
Well,
you were.
I know. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
That's like being told I'm adopted. Fuck, dude. I'm not proud anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. We never told you this, and there was a reason we never told you this.
I wish I forgot. Look, it's been like over a year and a half.
So, yes, Needle was the only person who auditioned, but to be honest, Needle was spot on from the beginning, so it was probably a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It worked out fine.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Confessions also, is that a Battered Blade, like, I had no auditions and everyone was like making fun of me and stuff, and then my other friend I Am Shadow 007, she's like, oh, I'll try that out, that sounds fun. And
I Am Shadow, fantastic voice actress.
Yes, and then the deadline expired, and then I got like one more after the deadline, and this is from one of the Stable Tech people who had kind of shit on me a lot by that point, so I'm like, you're past the fucking deadline. I Am Shadow is going to be the actress.
Yeah.
Oh, so I just pulled something up. I just dug through our PayPal history. All the way to the beginning because I thought this would be quite fun. Do you want to know? Because since we're retrospectiving, do you want to know what we made in our first month off of Patreon?
$1?
I think it was $4.
$18.
Oh wow, that's actually not too bad.
So we had one person. We had one person who donated $3, and then we had. And then we had one of
that's enough
the South African bronies who donated $15 on his own.
Oh.
So we had two patrons. We had two patrons and $18. And in the space of a year, we've grown to 29 patrons and $179.
Wow.
Damn.
Right.
Like, while that sound like a lot for a small YouTube channel that we are, that's actually pretty good.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that $179, that keeps us going with a lot of stuff.
It does, and we've started to utilize the YouTube like ads. Like, well, yeah, they are annoying. At the same time, that's a little bit more money that we can spend on making awesome content.
It does help. We appreciate that, you guys. I mean, heck, for my own channel, you know, I've had. I mean, I've had Frederator for 3 years now. I mean, they've paid me a good $1,000 just from all the ads and my video views and everything. So that's $1,000 I put into my new microphone and new software and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah,
it gets me to cons.
all of our YouTube ad stuff gets run through Frederator. They have been wonderful with helping with that sort of stuff. And no, like, we have been able to do. We run ads on all our videos. Though we don't run. We never run unskippable ads because we're not Dex. But we still run out. We still run ads because it's a small amount of money, but it is really really interesting to see what we can pull off with the additional budget. Doing things like hiring artists to just give us that extra visual flavor that just helps us flesh out our world here and there. It's also, art is really good for morale.
Yeah.
When you're working on a project like this, or like any of the projects we are working on, where all of your where it's all audio stories, so getting art and images and visualizations of those things is so good for team morale, that it's kind of worth it just for that.
I 100% agree. Like, all of the pictures that you've been showing that the artist for Untypical has been doing, the chick who does the really cute ones with the voice actors and the characters.
Yeah.
I absolutely love those. They're the cutest fucking thing.
Right? Those have been so fucking cute. And she does them in like, she does them in half an hour. She charges me fucking $8 a pop. And everybody wins. And also because she has the best fucking DeviantArt name ever, because she added she added orgasm to it.
Really?
So her name is Tanya, so she changed. So her DeviantArt name is Tanyasm.
Oh, great! Fantastic.
Yeah. No, she's fantastic. She kicks my ass in college. To just an absurd degree. She beats me in screenwriting class. She beats me in animation class. She beats everyone in animation class.
Good.
Well, almost everyone.
And see, I'm glad for Wasteland Survival Guide, we had Tyler's original art, and then we had Spectre, or what was it? Zepplich. He did the closing artwork of the table, and then for each episode, we're able to format in such a way that I could just do my little scribbles, and that's easy enough for each episode.
Yeah. They look like they're mouth drawn, which is what you're kind of going for.
I still very much love the original, the derpy waving from the forward art. I just, somehow that came together perfectly, and I'm so happy with that. And then, so after we released that over the holidays, we had our Hearthwarming episode last year. And although that was a time capsule, I think you can see the clear progression on all fronts with this year's winter solstice episode, where we wish everyone a happy Yule in our midwinter transformation.
I like how there's actually someone who was like, it reminds me of Wicca. It's like, that's because Needle's Wicca.
That's like literally the point.
Needle is Wiccan. That is why.
Needle dances under the moon, although apparently this is the wrong time of year for dancing under the moon. I asked.
Yeah.
I asked Needle, and she was like,
no, he straight up was like, so is Needle gonna go like dance under the moon or something? And I was like, no, that's in April.
Yeah, it's not about the moon, it's about the sun. It's about celebrating that the sun's gonna start coming back.
Granted, yes, we do still dance under the moon, but it's usually too damn cold to do it the way that we normally do.
Which is naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never personally done that. I am not.
That'll be a Patreon reward. $100.
I think that's why I chose Needle to be a unicorn, is because I'm Wiccan.
That makes sense.
It's a lot easier to do sewing when you're a unicorn.
And so then in January is when we had our major, we were primed and ready. So January we kicked off right away with Hunger, Terminal Secrets 3, and then 2-3 weeks later we had The Ranger, Confessions 5. And that was for me. It's like, we began. We were real, apart from Stable Tech.
Right, because in that 2-month period, we launched our Patreon, released 2 Wasteland Survival Guide episodes, and the episode for our 2 biggest series. That was a very, very good month for us. And February was also a pretty solid month, because it had the best episode of the Break Room podcast, which is our Hearts and Hooves Day.
That was a great podcast. It was so random too.
That was so good. I don't think I've done a podcast drunk since.
It was perfect. Needle was sauced, and Oakhart showed up and gave some great lesbian stories. And literally everything about the podcast.
Can we do that again this year for Hearts?
We really should. We got to get you guys sauced up.
I think I told every single weird ass story I had under the sun. God, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, we learned about your nymphomaniac girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes, we learned about my nymphomaniac girlfriend. Fucking Arizonans, am I right?
Probably. Like Arizona, it's very hot in some places, but other places it's more mountainous. So I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
It could be boring as fuck there, so they have nothing to do but yeah.
What fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Straight Outta Stable thing was funny too, because then like after 2 years away from Stapletech, then I get this like angry comment from one of the people who contributed to that thread where they were writing it, and I'm like, look, dude, I tried to contribute everyone's name when I was sending the credits out there. I'm sorry, I didn't get every last name, but at the same time, it's like I had put together this whole audio package because there was going to be like 4 separate singers and characters doing it, and no one turned anything back to me, and this is like over a year old, and the guy who was putting it together, the first writer, he, everyone gave up, no one gave a shit anymore, so I pulled out this old demo and posted it. Fuck off. And so finally he fucked off. Also, Come to Me came out that month, which I was very happy about.
Oh yeah,
and we got Needle
one of our
in that
biggest steps forward directly after that, though, at the very beginning of March, which was our very first live stream.
Yeah, we were testing for the convention.
Yeah, because the first 9 episodes of the Break Room podcast were
painful.
Were pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we finally pushed into actually live streaming our shit,
which we do now.
Which is so much easier.
It is so much. It's not just easier. It's better. It's so much better in every way. Being able to bounce things off of our audience. I mean, we haven't really stuck our noses in the chat too much tonight, but normally when we stick our noses in the chat
more often.
Just the shift to live streaming was a really, really good choice.
And also that first live stream test, which was just the Sky and Needle cast, that was a good podcast too. Everyone enjoyed that.
Then we had the British Invasion podcast after that. That was a good one.
Oh, we had too many people, so it started desyncing, but that was a fun one.
That was quite a big one. And the Terminal Secrets 1-year anniversary.
Oh yeah.
1 year of Terminal Secrets and the announcement of Untypical, which, that was 9 months ago. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad that I made the suggestion to start putting out small bits of content for it?
Yeah. Yes, no, that was a needle stitch idea, and to be fair, it has been really, really helpful in building up the hype, because people who've seen the people who've been watching the shorts have really, really liked it. It's been getting good feedback on Twitter from people who weren't EAST Corp Pony fans, and of course, and every voice actor who's read the script that has come back to me has been over the fucking moon about the episode 1 script. So, because I don't know if you have this, Skybolt, where it's one of the most nerve-wracking things about sending a script to voice actors, because you don't get feedback on your scripts until it gets released, and the only time before then that you can get any idea of how people are going to receive your script is when you send it to the voice actors.
Yeah, I've had 1 or 2 times where the voice actors have questioned stuff or come back with snide comments. Otherwise, it's usually fine.
Well, I've only ever had 1 snide comment from a voice actor. Normally it's positive or nothing, but I did have the 1 snide comment, which wasn't directed at me. It was just something that Dusty Cat left in his recording.
Yeah.
Where he finally got so sick and tired of all my grammatical errors that he just stops. Who wrote this?
Still the best comment.
Oh, it is. It 100% is. It is the most amazing thing anyone said about my writing ever. Who wrote?
So I'm actually really glad that I made that suggestion too, because originally Vermont here just wanted to start releasing things in January. Just start like throwing things out, and I was like, no, dude, people are gonna fucking forget about it. Like, you're hyping it up now, and then people are gonna forget, and then it's not gonna matter, and it's not gonna do very well. You gotta start small. You gotta put out little things. So now we can take the anthem logs and like double booking and everything, and it's been really good for hyping up everything, and I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, fuck, double booking was fantastic. I was really, really nervous about double booking because in essence, it's basically everything that Untypical is supposed to be, from the tone to the voice acting to, well, outside of me playing two characters, the tone, the voice, the characters, and the James Kelly edited fight scenes.
Yeah.
I originally tried to edit the fight scene myself, because I was so scared of that, because we're EAST Corp. We don't do fight scenes.
No.
Our characters sit and talk to each other in rooms, and they argue about moral philosophy. We don't do fight scenes. So that's been one of the most stressful things, is trying to figure out how to do. I mean, like, how to do sound editing for fight scenes with no visuals, because how do you tell a fight scene without any visuals?
Mm. Yeah. It was like trying to pretend there was movement. Like, I purposely tried to get some clothing sounds in it, or I made sure there was some white noise to go, like, do a sweep in and stuff. So it kind of, you can almost imagine someone's just gone and punched someone, or someone's, like with where there's the ones with no impacts or whatever, you just hear and he's doing that. It's sort of just, you can imagine that they're fighting and blocking, and I don't know. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. You make it seem like they're moving, even though normally you just let the visuals do that. So yeah,
you do a really good job with making sounds believable, because like with the Terminal Secrets one, when the crunching of the sounds and everything, and I was just like, that's disgusting. I can't see anymore.
Right.
Good job.
Right. Our first attempt at a fight scene was actually Terminal Secrets episode 4, and that was also, geez, it turns out we're good at fight scenes as well.
We're just going to continue to branch out. It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, right. Well, it's kind of like that thing where, I didn't like Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but I did really, really enjoy I did enjoy the surprise of seeing directors who originally did, character-based comedies. They directed Community. And then suddenly it turns out, they can pull off really, really competent action. I know this isn't quite on that kind of scale, but that's how it makes me feel.
So yeah, then March and early April, we had all the BabsCon stuff and some of our releases, like special release trailers and things like that. So that was fun.
That was a really, really solid-ass time for us.
And then we had, then we released the Celebrations episode, and then we had like the 3-ish podcast arc where it was basically just the Samurai Jack podcast.
Oh my God!
That was like April and mid-May.
Holy shit! The Samurai Jack podcasts were amazing.
No, they weren't.
I mean, you can really tell the passion, like, as we, like, really started settling in. That was so great. I finally got the Blu-ray of Season 5, and I had to ship it back. It was broken, so I got it again, and it's so great. It's just such the best thing ever.
Oh my god! And there's the Amoria's Loins Waste That Survival Guide. Currently, still my personal favorite.
Yes.
Which, personal favorite reading. Just so many vagina jokes. Which also, I can't help but laugh about the fact that it didn't get that came out when YouTube was really, really getting heavy on its apocalypse stuff.
Yeah.
But Amoria's Loins did not get flagged for
No, but the one about building a house did.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
I love that. Like guns didn't get flagged. I even made a small meme about it. Like fucking a guide that teaches you how to build a gun to kill other ponies. It's okay for viewership. A story where a cannibalistic tree sings about a dead pony's vagina and spreads a virus and then eats people using that song. Appropriate for all ages. How to build a house. Banned. Fucking flag. Fucking. That is not appropriate for the kids and the advertisers. I'm sitting there like, you saw. Did your algorithm not catch the serious amount of words that flagged words that we used in Amoria's Loins?
Yeah.
So Spike made a similar meme because Spike tends to put out more videos than we do. He got flagged for a video about the story was about like a giant spider that tries to eat people, but the cover art, is of a giant spider eating out a woman.
Oh,
right.
It got banned, and then he went and disputed it, and then it got remonetized. And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck? Out of all of the videos that you have on your channel that are totally not appropriate for kids, this one got remonetized, and it's got a picture of a spider eating out a woman. What the fuck?
Kinky.
And then, really in general, the summer was a bit of a lull, partially because I had to move, so we had, one or two random, live streams from each of us. And June and July are just kind of whatever lulls. And then it's we hit out of the park with our next set with the Confession 6 and Terminal Secrets 4. Just bammo. That was a great way to ring in the fall.
Fuck, those two did so well. Because the Ice Mare being the longest episode of anything that we've done to date, even longer than our longest Break Room podcast.
Yes, by a little bit, just a tad.
By a little bit.
Smidgen.
Which just fucking, it was basically a book.
And the thing for me, I wasn't so much worried about that. I was worried about the number of characters. Pulling all the lines from all the characters together was worrying, and that took more time than I would have liked, to be honest.
What's the word count for Confessions at the moment?
It's in I think the 150,000, something like that.
Jesus fuck! Because you honestly could self-publish that
at some point. Yeah. Well, at the very end, I'm gonna release one giant, massive, whatever box set of all the art, all the music, all the scripts, and people can get that if they want.
My desire for the end of Terminal Secrets is once I release it, I want to do a director's commentary version, where I want to, but rather than pre-record it, because then I'll never get around to editing it and releasing it. I'm just horrible at that. I've got a fucking to-do list on editing for this channel.
I've got to listen to my behind the scenes again and see how those came out.
I really want to do a live stream of me listening and doing director's commentary of the entire Terminal Secret series in real time and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
See, that's tricky, doing a commentary for an audio thing.
It is, but it's very possible, and I reckon it'd be long, because Terminal Secrets at the moment stands at 4 hours. I'm estimating Awake to be an hour long, maybe a little bit longer. And Kill the World that's an hour and a half to 2 hours. So all told, it's going to be about 7 hours long.
Damn.
So a director's commentary version, given how much I talk, would be a 10 to 12 hour video.
Oh my god!
Who the fuck would want to watch that?
Our fans. Have you met our fan base?
I haven't.
I haven't met them.
Actually,
personally.
I think Skybolt and I are the only ones who have met our fan base.
Oh,
Shit, son. So, okay, fine. I haven't met our fan base, but having spoken to a bunch of the patrons, honestly, our hardcore fans would listen to that. That honestly seems like something our hardcore fans would actually sit through. And also because that would just be showing off. Let's just have a 12-hour video.
I like in the general sense how you can sort of pick out series just from the thumbnails. I try to keep like conventions with the thumbnails for people to easily tell what's going on.
I think our most consistent one is the Wasteland Survival Guide.
Yeah, those stand out easily because it's all just like bright, parchment looking, and then you've got black ink. So
okay, all right. So we've been podcasting for about 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh damn, really?
I say we take a short break. Everybody, go get your tea, go get your coffee, and then we come back.
I already did, so I can monologue if you guys need a break.
No, because I'm allowed to monologue alone.
Okay, well,
we also released Twin Terrors in the last month, which that's a long time coming because we started that in like the beginning of the year. I mean, the whole Come To Me thing was a branch out from that, where I was originally going to make that my story because it was originally going to be something else. It was going to be like a creepypasta collab, but that kind of fell through. But we already had the music. Kelly had already worked out that wonderful opening theme, and I'm like, we can't just let this go. We already put too much work into it.
Right, as seems to regularly happen. The music, the Kelly influence
is a driving force.
Well, this music is too good. We have to put it out.
And to match the music, I'd put a decent amount of editing into the video to get the whole gauntlet thing working.
Oh my god, the opening to Twin Terrors is really, really good. No, you really, really nailed that.
All the soft transitions and the audio, and then we've got like the whole like background music thing. I'm very happy with how it all came out.
No, that came out really, really fucking solidly. And Twin Terrors was a really, really nice way. It was a really nice chance to experiment. I mean, I say that knowing that I'm experimental as it is, but it was a nice chance to.
You're bi.
Exactly. I fuck everyone. Wait.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Except for lately, when you've been having a dry spell for how much?
For almost 4 years. Yes.
Yup.
That is true. So in theory, I fuck everyone. I'm open.
DTF.
But
he's DTF.
It's been nice to it was nice to have a chance to experiment in a story that had no connection to anything else. Like everything else that we write, especially, everything else that I write on this channel, it's always connected to something else. So writing a standalone thing was just amazing.
Yeah, and it was very like freeing just to experiment with something different. It's very much like I your style, whatever it was, but for me it was like sort of third person, kind of like God mode, but it was it was just a neat to like different way of presenting it.
Mine, to be honest, I have no idea what my style was for that. Quiet Black was completely off the fucking walls because it had a lot of it was in first person, but then it regularly jumped into poetry, and part of it was very part of it was very much the character was narrating from a POV, but he was omniscient and omnipresent. But then there was fucking and then there was like all the dream sequences. Like, no, that good lord, that was so. I don't know what my style was for Quiet Black. I don't. It was so chaotic, which was the point, but still.
Yeah, and then we just had our great Christmas special, and we had our surprise hit of Open Up Your Eyes. Oh, and of course, we forgot we got our our 4th annual Fallout Day video, which is insane. Yeah. 4 years.
That was a good one.
Yeah, right? Kelly, again, pulled through with an opening that I totally wasn't expecting, like, at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like that song, like that opening was just so... So I hadn't heard before, so I was like, oh, I'll check it out, months before we actually did or whatever, and I was like, this is really good. And then it was like, make that, and it's like, well, okay, I'm going to have to somehow make this, just because it would feel so weird without that, like, amazing intro. So, yeah, just had to do it.
We had to do it. And our good artist friend Sancho came out with the great blimp art flying away from the store, which I was very happy about. And it all ties into the story, too, so you guys have a little taste of what's to come.
Right, I think I'm going to have to demand that the next Fallout Day song is related to Terminal Secrets, just to be fair.
Oh, I have no idea. I really haven't started playing that far ahead.
I demand that the next Fallout Day song is Derpy.
Oh my god, can we write a Derpy song with Derpy singing?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god.
Actually, no, we do have a few song ideas for Derpy, which we do have to follow through on at some point.
I did send Skybolt a song that is very 1950s, and it would be a very good Derpy song. So
it's literally, it would be perfect. We're probably going to do that, so we will. If you're up to it, it's going to be great.
I suggested it. Of course, I'm up for it.
Okay. we will get to it. That's in the.
Technically, Mum suggested it. He's just like, you need to listen to this song. It'd be perfect for Derpy, and I'm like, all right, I'll send it to Skybolt and see if he likes it.
And I did. That's perfect. So we will be getting to that soon. Just wait.
I need to get down pat my "You're Welcome" parody because I still have all of the audio. I'm just not quite happy with it on my end.
Yes, you need to do that because my rewrite of "You're Welcome" was pretty solid, in my opinion.
It is very solid.
Even if literally one person is going to get the line about the Tolkienist denouement.
That's the. I finally got the rapping bit down because there is a bit where I do rap a little bit, but he doesn't match the correct syncopation, so it's hard.
Yes, because that's the problem. Because the problem is that the original does mess with the way the rhythm works as well. Because Lin-Manuel Miranda's an asshole. I love him, but he's an asshole. So trying to rewrite those songs, that also because I couldn't help it. I mean, the joke about the ending of Fallout Equestria being like the ending of the Lord of the Rings was too good to pass up because both those stories' endings go on forever. People love to rag on the Return of the King movie for its ending, just for it never ending. The fucking book, they go back because they do all the other stuff. Because immediately after destroying the ring, they all wake up in Ithilien. They have a party there. Then they go to Minas Tirith, and then there's the crowning of the king. And then they slowly ride back across Middle Earth. then they go to Edoras, then they go to Isengard, then they go to Rivendell and stay there for a little bit, then they spend time with Tom Bombadil again, then they go back to the Shire, and when they get to the Shire, they discover that Saruman has taken over the Shire, and there's like multiple chapters of the Four Hobbits fighting to retake the Shire, and then they retake the Shire, and then they live out their lives. Several years pass, and then they go to the Grey Havens, and then the book ends. It's like, the plot is over. The plot ended 100 pages ago.
That is something that I think they should have put in the movie, because it was so relevant with where they go back to the Shire and it's like destroyed, because it's like you can never go back again. It's like they're, you know, some things can't change. You know, it's never the same river you cross again. So I thought that was actually very poignant. That would have looked really good in the movie.
I absolutely adored it, but it is really, really funny how long it goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And so another great part of that is it also does an amazing job of contrasting the difference between who these four hobbits were when they left and who they are now that they've come back. You know, they're warriors. They have something. There's something kingly and noble about them now that they've come back. Whereas in the movie, it's kind of just like they're wearing different clothes. Whereas the books, like fucking,
they're wearing different clothes, and people are still like glaring at them, like, "Fuck you guys! You think you're better than us?"
We should probably also mention, if you guys have any questions, we're probably in the winding down phase. So this could be our last podcast for the year, too. So ask away anything you think you want, or any suggestions, or just whatever, FYI.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, maybe ask some questions about the future. You know, we'll try. There might be some things we have about 2018 that we'll actually be allowed to say without spoiling too much. Because so we love the questions that come in to be asked. But going back to, while I wait for questions to pour in, hopefully, it kind of pushes in there with, that line from our You're Welcome parody. In the end, both those stories they're both just massive stories that never, ever, ever feel like they're going to end, despite how much you like them. But the annoying thing is that, yes, it's said very fast, and it also uses the word denouement, and I'm not entirely sure how many people know what denouement means.
Nope.
I told him not to put that in specifically because I'm pretty sure not everybody knows what denouement is.
I have no idea.
No to say.
Wait, even you don't know Skybot?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's the wind down of the story.
What?
So after...
What?
You mean the epilogue?
Not necessarily the epilogue, but it's your last... So after your climax, the heroes have achieved their goal, and then you've got to sort of settle the world into what it now is. So kind of like an epilogue, yeah, but not really.
It sounds like a resolution, if you're thinking of 3 acts. It's the setup, the rising action, and then the resolution.
So yeah, it's the resolution, essentially. Epilogue feels like the wrong word to use, but resolution would work, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Chosen got it pretty solidly. That's Chosen Heart over there, by the way, who I was very surprised to discover. So she is she's our voice actress for Fade, who I played to you all earlier, in that really, really fantastic, absurdly metro, over the top audition.
Wait, Fade is a she?
Yeah. Fade is, the character is a guy.
What?
The character is a guy, Chosen Heart is a girl.
What?
And you heard the voice, you heard the audition, it's fantastic.
I did, but it doesn't sound female. Bruh. GG.
No, Chosen really, really, really nailed that.
I remember it was just some random, I think, Facebook video, but it was some guy, but he could do a voice that sounded like a perfect teenage, like, Valley Girl voice. It was scary how accurate it was. Like, if you close your eyes, you would think it was just some, like, voice actress for, like, freaking, I don't know, Kim Possible or something.
Hey.
That was a fun random Facebook video. Walt Lawrence, what are your favorite teas, all of you? My favorite tea is coffee, and my favorite brands are the Ubon Pacific Coast blend is really good. I get that on the reg.
I really like vanilla chamomile with a little bit of honey in it, and maybe a little bit of lemon if I'm in the mood. Though Vermont fucking hates it because I make my tea in the microwave.
Oh my God.
Exactly, you're a horrible person. I almost bought Needle a Kettle. I went kettle shopping online to buy Needle a Kettle for Christmas, but they're so expensive, so that did not happen. I did not buy Needle a Kettle for Christmas. I'm very sorry.
What about you, Kelly? The source. Well, not the source, but like the
source of tea.
The source of tea.
I hate to say it, but I don't actually drink that much tea.
But you have a tea time. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That is true. We had to plan the podcast around Kelly's tea time.
Yeah. Well,
right?
British people have tea time, but it doesn't mean that we're having actual tea. It means it does mean we're having tea. We're having tea.
It doesn't mean we're actually... Wait, yes it does, but...
It's not the liquid tea that we have at tea time. We have food at tea time. It's dinner time.
Solid tea? What?
Right. And then you have like lunch and late lunch and brunch.
Are we back to hobbits now?
Like breakfast. Yeah, breakfast.
Oh no, sorry, you have high tea if you're going to have tea and cake.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I have actually been to a very nice place somewhere nearby where I live, and it's like it's an old 1940s tea room thing, and they bring out like little tiny sandwiches and cakes and tea, like an entire teapot.
Ooh,
it's really nice in there. Yeah, it was really nice, and I got punched on the arm by the lady who runs it for being cheeky, not in an abusive way. Everyone was like silent. I was like, no, and she was very nice, yeah. But yeah, she did punch me on the arm and said, "I need to eat some mince pies. No, I need to eat some pies because I'm skinny." So yeah, that was an experience and a half.
I after watching Sweeney Todd, I don't take people suggesting I eat meat pies very well the first time I hear it. So that's something I would question if I were abroad visiting the pond.
Haggis is nice. I
Yeah.
can give you that advice. Haggis is nice.
How's black pudding?
I don't think I've had black pudding. My dad's had black pudding.
We just go through all the main foods now.
Yeah.
Well, Scratchy keeps recommending that I try black pudding, and I keep telling him no because it sounds disgusting.
I'd have a hard time getting through that myself.
The only pudding that you're allowed to call pudding, despite the fact that it is a main course meal, is Yorkshire pudding, and that's because it's the most tasty goddamn thing that's ever been invented.
That's true. Yeah.
That has earned the right to be called pudding.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Sad thing to say. I mean, obviously, a roast is a very British thing, and it gets very sad because it's like my grandma started burning the Yorkshire puddings. My mum started forgetting that she cooked Yorkshire puddings and left them in there. So there was like a 2-3 year time period of not having any Yorkshire puddings for a roast, and
that's a really, very British problem.
Yeah, it really hurt my British pride, which is.
I actually, I think I had very good a chicken pot pie at a like English style pub once here in the States, which is pretty. It was pretty good.
That's my chicken pot pie.
Skybolt, if you ever visit, I'm gonna have to take you to. Shut the fuck up, Vermont. I'm talking. I'm gonna have to take you to the Australian pub that we have here.
Ooh, that
they
does sound
have
fun.
delicious lamb pie.
Yeah. No, I love lamb. I actually just got Greek yesterday, which was lamb gyros.
So right after my car accident, we went to the Australian bar and got very drunk and had a lot of lamb pie right after my car accident.
It's like an English bar, but it's upside down.
The guy was hilarious though because we had gotten to the car accident at about 10:30ish.
Yeah.
And then got to the bar by like 12. And so I was like, I need a double shot of whiskey right now.
Right now.
And he's like, wow, getting started early, are we? And I was like, I just got into a fucking car accident. Give me the double shot. He goes, oh, okay, all right. It was fantastic. But yeah, you need to come to the thing.
Yeah, no, I'd love to visit Portland at some point.
Visit Portland and not be working, because then we can hang out.
I'd love to visit Portland, but the problem with me visiting Portland, or Needle and I being in the same room, is that I'm fairly certain she would throttle me after a certain amount of time had passes. Needle would realize, wait, I don't need to keep telling Vermont to shut the fuck up. I can just punch him in the face.
Oh, if we could ever do like the four of us, but an in real life podcast, that would be amazing. That would be our first video podcast.
It will just be me like gagging Skyball in Vermont, and then Kelly and I just talking the rest of the time.
Yeah, and probably me eating.
Oh no, I enjoy you, Kelly.
Technically, we have done video podcasts before. Skyball did 2 during BabsCon, and then I did a retrospective which almost featured nudity.
Oh yeah, that was could have been an accident. Get our channel shut down.
I would have outright deleted I would have fucking deleted the video right then and there.
Well, yeah, that would be kind of weird.
I don't think I saw this.
So I did a Vermont retrospective, which was like an hour and a half video live stream.
That was fun.
Which that was a lot of fun. It was a Vermont sneak cast, but yeah, no, the entire thing was video. My dad started switching between playing heavy metal and Rebecca Black just to piss off fans. And then my 3-year-old little sister walked into the room completely naked.
Oh
no! Luckily, nothing got caught on camera. But you could hear me shouting, like with my hands going and covering up the camera, Aurelia, where are your clothes?
See, I have that issue with Melanie. My god baby is also 3, and she's currently in the middle of potty training. So whenever she goes potty training, she has to get entirely naked for whatever fucking reason. So I'll be sitting there just chilling and talking to her mom, and next thing I know, little Melanie comes running out of the bathroom, totally naked. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And she goes, Nikki!
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I sat down. I accidentally sat down on a damp towel because she had just gotten out of the shower. And I sat up, not realizing I had sat on this damp towel. And I turn around and I start touching my butt, and I'm like, why is my ass moist?
Ew.
And then Melanie yells, time for dinner, Auntie Pony! And I'm like, my ass is moist, so that means it's time for dinner? And her mom's like, well, apparently. It was just like those weird things. Like, children say the damnedest things.
Kids say the damnedest things.
So Aurelia also goes to the toilet naked, but her thing is that she will start stripping off her clothes as she goes to the toilet. So as she gets like she'll run out of the TV room and the shirt will be gone, and as she'll run down the hallway to the toilet, the pants will go off. And normally every time I hear her going to the toilet, my immediate first reaction is to immediately rush to my own bathroom, close the door, and say, no, go to mom and dad's bathroom. Because it's the one thing I'm pedantic about. It's the one thing that I'm not a particularly good brother about. Is no one uses my bathroom. That's my bathroom. Luckily,
this is why
you hiding something in there.
I shouldn't hear nobody else.
No, it's not that I've got. Actually, yes, Kelly, I do have something in there. My toilet. Because the problem is certain members of my family are 3 years old, and so they pee all over the toilet seat.
How does she pee on the toilet seat? She's a girl.
I don't know, but she manages it.
I'm not going to ask questions.
She manages it. Well, I mean, her potty training period was a horror. It was horrifying in our house for that few month period while she was potty training, because she kept. So there was a very long period where she just peed where she stood, which that's fairly standard fare for kids. Potty training. The ones that kept annoying us was that she kept taking dumps on the table.
Oh my gosh.
Because the thing is, she would watch TV, and she would get really, really absorbed into it. So she wouldn't think I'm going to go to the toilet to take a poo. I'm just going to keep watching TV, pull down my pants, take a poo where I'm standing, then pull up my pants again. Sometimes she just wouldn't pull up her pants again. So that at least once a day she would pee on the floor, and at least once a week she would poo on a table. Always on a table.
These are the kind of things that you only get if you interact with a potty training child.
Right?
Like, anybody who doesn't deal with a potty training child would probably be like, what the fuck? But no, this is completely normal for potty training children.
Right? It is.
For all of my brothers.
Oh, God.
Good. My parents, all of my younger brothers, what they would do when they were potty training was they would put the little tiny training potties, like, all over the place. So that way there was one nearby at all fucking times, so that my brothers did not have the opportunity to pee where they couldn't. Potty training boys is a lot harder than potty training girls, though.
Oh yeah, because boys, unless they are my sister, girls can't miss.
Girls can't miss.
Theoretically speaking, girls should not be able to miss, but my sister manages, and guys miss all the time.
God, when I got older and we moved into a home that had more than 2 bathrooms, I was so happy because I got my own bathroom, which means there was no more piss on the seat and floors.
Exactly, it's horrible. It is so disgusting.
And my brothers were grown. Like, my brothers were old enough to at least try not to pee on the floors, and they still managed to pee on the floors.
Oh my God! And then there's and then there's just the small things. Like, I don't like warm toilet seats. I've heard some people like that. I don't like warm toilet seats. So every time someone uses the bathroom in my house, doesn't matter if I really, really, really have to go, I will wait for the toilet seat to cool down.
See, I agree with that in the psychology sense. That, yeah, you don't like, you know, that it feels like it's been recently used. You like the idea of the clean coldness or whatever.
Yeah.
Any news on the next Confessions episode?
It is in progress. I'm doing final fixes on the third act, which has gone through a few different evolutions over the last few months, and once that is over, I still have all the takes that I asked for way back in July or whatever. I'll review all of those auditions, and then if necessary, I will go through a secondary audition if, you know, that person can't do it anymore or whatever. And yeah, then hopefully we'll be on track to release it sometime in, I don't know. I don't want to make promises, because maybe the person will be able to deliver quickly on, like, takes, but we'll see what happens. I hope to finish the script sometime in the next month.
Good lord. Confessions writing period seems to be the longest writing period for any of our productions.
For good reason.
Yeah, no, I mean...
The other good news is that I don't think I'll have the same problem with episodes 8 and 9, because both of those stories I've already been mapping out quite a bit. With this one, it was essentially like 2 new characters got added and 2 got subtracted, so that's why I had to do like major like Act 2 and 3 reshuffling.
Oh, shit,
and I'll talk about that more after it's released and everyone's heard it, and it should make more sense. What in retrospect you'll understand.
I've plotted out Terminal Secret 6, but the writing of it is just going to be a way more complicated beast than I was expecting. We've laid down so many different plot threads, and so many concepts that expanding on them, concluding them, and satisfactorily wrapping them all up has been a horrifying, terrible challenge. So that's been fun. But at least Terminal Secrets episode 5. Hopefully, like I say, I'm on like the last 2 pages of the edits now. I just need to finish injecting very small changes, and that can finally go out to the voice cast.
Very small changes, and then I go through and then say, hey, you fucked something up.
What?
Because you do spelling or grammatical errors because you don't actually read everything out loud.
Oh, yes, that part, yeah. Yes, no, you can tell the Skybolt sections from the Vermont sections, because the Vermont sections will be the ones that have that have spelling and grammatical errors.
Who wrote this?
Yes, everyone forgets. I might be an engineer, but I actually did get very good English grades too. So.
Oh no one forgets that you're an engineer.
It's really hard for it not to come through in most writing. That's the experience. That's why the annoying thing, like Stephen King, all of his main characters are writers or something like that. It gets a little bit too far after a while. I feel like I'm not that limited, but come on, Stephen, this is getting ridiculous.
Holy crap! It's tomorrow where I am at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to wrap up. I actually have to go for a Christmas dinner thing soon, which was the limiter on this podcast. And but yeah, I think we've gotten everything said and done. It's a good podcast.
And
and then we'll be back next year.
We will be back next year.
Well, we might do another one, because there's quite a few patrons from this month who haven't had a chance to do. Their December read through.
Not our fault. They don't show up, and then the 2 people who always show up need to stop showing up for a couple of minutes.
So basically, Indy.
It's like, I don't have a problem with them showing up, but they need to move so that other people can show up too.
We heard, you hear that, Indy? Oh, did he leave the comment? He left the comment section. That's
I think
embarrassing. Yeah. Hopefully he'll re-listen to this and.
Oh, I'll message him. I'll send him a message on Facebook. Be like, fuck off.
With no context. Don't give him any context.
Oh no, I do that all the time. I'll just be like, what the fuck, Indy?
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. No, I think.
Start sending out of context things.
Wait, what?
I should start sending you out of context messages.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Because then I'll get anxious and be like, what did I do? Oh god.
Fine. How about out of context porn?
You can do that, that's fine.
Sweet.
Sweet.
All right then. But yeah, no, everyone have wonderful holidays and New Year if we don't talk to you before the New Year. And yeah, we have a very exciting 2018 ahead of us.
I love you all.
Indeed.
This is where we run out the music that I've been playing as the outro.
Oh, you have been playing music, because someone's like, do I hear music? What's going on?
I don't hear any music.
Oh yeah.
What did you play?
I played the Solstice version of the Winter Wrap.
I'm hearing two people. Shit.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a very
Bye.
good holidays.